Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Academy Gaming Weekly number 40. I am Storm, and joining me tonight is OPN, who I believe is out for a minute here. He went to get a cam, but I don't think we'll be adding that tonight. Hopefully next time to see his lovely faces. Nobody has actually ever seen it on stream here. We usually don't have cams anymore for the second caster, but gonna try and do that for next time. But anyhow, guys, a few announcements before we go ahead. Oh, you are here now. How are you doing there?
I'm doing alright. I actually do have the cam hooked up if you really want to see my ugly mug, but that's up to you.
Maybe we'll try for that during the break. We'll see if we can get that sorted out here. But a few announcements before we go ahead and get into our first game. OPN, of course, with me tonight. Glad to have him here. We do have a giveaway, 100 gold giveaway at the end of the stream, so stick around for that, guys. I have decided to get away from the exclamation point raffle and going to be starting to do keywords, so you'll have to pay attention for that at the end of the stream. Other than that, oh yeah, I do have a sad announcement. It looks like the 1v1 tournament will not be happening. The person who was going to be donating the legendary decided he wanted to do a 30 Days of Christmas giveaways in Lions Arch rather than donate the legendary. So, fortunately, no 1v1 tournament. A little sad, but oh well. Heart of Thorns coming out anyway, so that's something to look forward to. Other than that, guys, let's go ahead and get a look at our first matchup we've got ready for you guys. It's going to be over on the red, ASAP Zerg. Everyone knows ASAP Zerg. That's been watching Academy Game before. And Hello Kitty Island Adventures, a new team, I must say. Xylent, who has played on teams in the past, along with Inherited Loots. That would be Oz of Tree. A couple of these guys have as well. So they're not. It's not really them under a different name. I think this might be a pug, might be a new team. We'll have to see if they do come back in the future tournaments. But just looking at these guys, ASAP on the red, pretty strong team. They did get a first round bye, so this will be the first game of the tournament. However, do you want to go ahead and take us away with their builds, OPN?
Well, let's go ahead and take a look here. We have What
Sorry.
is this Mesmer build?
What is he running? Oh god, first thing we look at. Take us away with this.
Well, I'm seeing many signets here, but I'm going to be honest, I am not an expert at Mesmer. I'm looking here and seeing an Assassin's Amulet, a million signets. You might want to cover this build. It might be
just looking at it, I mean, a great sword torch, that much has been meta. He is running PU. He's running the normal PU stuff, but the thing that's weird is the fact he's running Scholar Runes with Assassin Amulet. This looks a bit of a troll build. He still has 16,000 health. But he has no extra added defense stats, coming out from Assassin's Amulet. That's full offense with the Scholar Runes and 5 Signets. I mean, Signet of Humility is normal, but the utilities and the heal? What is this, man?
I'm thinking you'll probably switch that out.
He is. Okay,
He's probably just trolling with it. In any case, we have Starlet just below that, and that is an engineer running Chafe's infamous build. It is the soldier build, utilizing rifle as well as Elixir X, and has that AoE Moa, so that's going to be kind of devastating. And then we have an Elementals below that, which is just a DDLE, that would be Pixel Surge, and that's just Celestial Holbreck, and it looks like he is running into the fire line as well. And then Shadow Shooter running, it looks like a good old Power Ranger build. Longbow with Entangle, so you're gonna have to watch out for those roots if you're the other team. And then we have Kent Rivierne right here, and he is actually running a Carrion Condi Guardian build, almost said Paladin. So that's gonna be lots of fire and burns to watch out for him.
Yeah, it's a typical burn guard build. And it looks like Shadow Shooter is running the most non-meta build, I would say. I mean, we do see Condi Rangers, but we don't see them as often as Power Rangers now. So interesting.
Oh, actually, I take that back. Shadow Shooter is running Cellar Amulet. He's some Condi tank variant, 1v1 hero.
Yeah, and Ahmed still sticking to what looks like I know he's changing his stuff. We briefly saw him on the Celestial Amulet. So just before the game starts, we'll take a look at that. Over here on the blue team, though, not exactly sure where their fifth is. But taking a look at Tactical Error, he is going to be the warrior for this team with the Hammer Greatsword, Holbreck Runes, and Marauder Amulet, running with Strength, Defense, and Discipline. Interesting enough, he is taking Balanced Stance over Frenzy, so going to have some stab outside of the Rampage form. Oz of Tree, actually I wanted to check if he is going to be running. He's running Cleansing Ire still. Okay, Oz of Tree going to be running the Necro for this team. Which looks like triple Signet, Selling Necro with the Strength Runes. Nothing too crazy. This is pretty typical from Necros nowadays. Sirius Kane running the Elementalist for this team with the DD. and the Hullbreak Rune Stellar Amulet running Fire, Water, and Arcane. Xylent going to be the Engineer running, looks like Soldier Amulet with Hullbreak Runes, Rifle running Explosives, Alchemy, and Inventions there, as well as D-Bets finally for this team going to be running the Staff. Looks like Mace, Shield, Soldier Runes, Cleric's Amulet running Valor, Honor, and Virtues with 4 Shouts and Shelter. So pretty standard stuff, I would say, coming out from these guys. The only thing maybe a little up in the air is Technical Error. He's going to be running Marauder Amulet. We see a lot of guys run Zerker Amulet, but Marauder is just as fine, just a little bit more, defensive with that health. So pretty standard stuff for these guys. But take a look at these guys. I mean, you might not know all of them. I know most of these guys from AG. It's, 40th week now. But just the comps as a whole, who do you think might take this first set?
Well, I've heard the name ASAP Zerg tossed around quite a lot, and they have some powerful players in the team, including Shadow Shooter, and honestly, I'd say just Shadow Shooter.
Yeah,
but
I
would say.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say ASAP Zerg probably has this in the bag, just from what I've seen in their past performances and the individuals on their team. I mean, the other team does have Einstein. I've seen him around. He's a pretty strong player. What is that?
Yeah, Xylent's a really strong player. Don't get me wrong. Xylent, I think he is one of the key players on this blue team. As for this ASAP Zerg, I think they have a few. I think Ahmed, Starlet, and Shadow Shooter will make a big difference in this one. We'll have to see how it matches up, and especially Kent running that Burn Guardian. If the blue team is going to be expecting it, and if Ozatri is able to, get those burn stacks and transfer them back here. It looks like game number 1 going to be starting up here on the Forest of Nifl Health in this quarterfinal matchup between ASAP Zerg and Hello Kitty Island Adventures. Got it there. Take a look at the opening split. So we do have a cross Shadow Shooter. Going to push for that 1v1 over at the quarry node. And while Kent a little late out of the base, but what are your thoughts on these opening splits here?
We're going to have to see if he actually makes it to the node in time, because it looks like Shadow Shooter is actually being met with Silent Einstein. That's going to be a problem if he can't make it, then they get that full cap. In any case, though, blue team has a heavily in their favor matchup at mid. It's a 3v2 at first, but it looks like that Mesmer is going to be coming in. I'd say, honestly, it was a good defensive opener by blue, which of course would be Hello Kitty.
Yeah, and it looks like Kent just going to try. Oh, nice updraft coming out there from Pixel Search. Going to hit all 3 members of this Hello Kitty roster. Looks like a lot of focus going down onto Ahmed. Already about 40-50% HP. Gets his heal off. That's good for him. And still trying to put some damage out. Trying to stay alive here, but still open. He didn't get. Oh man, I want to point out the technical. Bringing out that Rampage at the midpoint, as well as a Moa that came out. The portal already being forced there from Ahmed.
Ahmed, by the way, is no longer running those signets. Just want to point that out. He is still running the Assassin's Amulet with the Scholar.
That is interesting. He did get a full reset going through that portal. Got back through. Oz, though, was taken out by Shadow Shooter over at that. I'm very surprised Oz was taken out, because Condi vs Condi, I really think that Oz has the upper hand with the triple signet Sully build.
To be honest, though, when it comes to Shadow Shooter, he is spec'd specifically to take 1v1s, and typically he'll be placed in 1v1s against Signeco, so he has a pretty good track record of beating them. I would honestly think he'd win that matchup just because of his experience.
Yeah, that's a good point. But it looks like Xylent actually going to push for this hench point. So I think we're going to have a 3 cap coming out here for ASAP. They're a very strong opening for them. We'll have to see what this Hello Kitty team makes of this. I mean, this is a hard uphill battle for now. I mean, for the rest of the game, just being 3 capped.
There is an interesting 1v1 taking place on the mine, though. We have this DDLD for the blue team, for Hello Kitty, actually going against the Engineer, which is that Soldier Engineer, basically Chaith build for the other team, for ASAP Zerg. And it looks like the Engineer is handily beating the Elementalist. He actually came in here low, but is still seeming to take this fight on mine no problem. So that's probably going to go in ASAP Zerg's favor.
Yeah, I don't know. Sirius came able to get back up to about 50% HP there with the help of that water instrument. Blue team able to get their home point back. That's a good start. They are making their way to the midpoint. Let's take a look at what Tactical Error is doing. Making his way back behind the keep here. He's actually going to go all the way around over to the mine point. Odd, and that's very odd that he went all the way around. Maybe they called off the midpoint and he just decided to go to the sides. Honestly, right now, that's probably the best thing they can do.
I agree with that. In fact, I think that's probably the case, because there was 2 of them hanging around mid. He was probably like, there's 3 there when it comes to ASAP Zerg, so we're not going to go ahead and push that. In any case, though, they are making that... No, look at this. There's actually a Rampage coming out here for the Starlet Engineer, and that's going to really solidify this fight in ASAP Zerg's favor. Well, no, I take that back. It looks like he is getting scared off at this point. Blue team has a large presence at mine, and they do seem to be winning that point.
Yeah, it looks like multiple members of both teams are going to be here, except blue team getting that home point back over at the Henge. They're going to be 2v2 against, it looks like that Shadow Shooter and Ahmed. Meanwhile, over here, it looks, oh man, I thought we had a 3v2 in favor of blue. Just, Tactical Error wants to push a 1v1 against Pixel Search. I really don't condone that, but he does have Rampage, which it might be the reason, honestly, why he did it. I just think they should have played the sides, played the 2 points, but blue team getting, I believe they got the mine point as well, so they are going to pick up the 2 cap, start to make their way back into this game. That's pretty good for them. After being 3 caps at the start of the game, that's really hard to come back from.
I agree. This is going to be pretty much an uphill battle when it comes to the blue team here, Hello Kitty, and that's kind of what I expected going against ASAP Zerg. They do have that 4 cap at home though, and they do have the big caps near the points, and it does look like their team is mostly up and not just falling in, so they have a possibility of bringing this back. They're going to need to nail down a nice 2 cap though, and there's an interesting fight emerging on that midpoint. It looks like it's a 3v3 going on. Gonna have to see who wins it. This is gonna be pretty pivotal, especially if blue team grabs this.
Came out and it looked like Tactical Error taken into the downstate there, and I mean Sirius got pretty low as well. He was forced off. There was no way they were gonna get that rest. Despite that, they did manage to get the full cap, holding on 2 cap. Once again, we do see a peel out from Starlit over to the mine point. Sirius Kane right on top of that. Very good awareness from him.
This is what I call one of those fake 2 caps that happen. It's when the team, the opposing team just forces a couple people into the downstate, and then one person kind of sticks behind, caps the point, and then gets immediately killed afterwards. So it looks good for a few minutes, and you might even think that you're doing your team a good favor, but it would have been much better if that Guardian had rotated out and actually stayed alive, and perhaps would have met up with his teammates at different points.
Definitely so. There's the portal from Ahmed. It looks like he just wanted to go back to that Henge point, and it looks like Tactical Error through here as well, as we did see the decap coming out there from both. I mean, the decap Henge node, the only point ticking is in favor of this blue team. You cannot doubt that they are back in this game. They were down a little bit more and starting to make their way back into this one, despite that Xylent actually taken down at the midpoint. Ahmed going in for the stomp. He should be able to get that one. Blink stomps, for some reason, didn't really need to blink there, but despite that, Oz taken down, Xylent, Sirius, they're all down here, and it looks like we are going to see a 3-man wipe on the side of this blue team.
Well, that's the second note of the coffin I've seen. I mean, I'm surprised. They've stayed pretty close in points, but I'd say that's mostly because about rotating. ASAP Zerg has been doing a lot of Zerging, which kind of goes with their name right there. But it looks like blue team did manage to secure these sides with actually some strong bunkers on them. They have like a bunker guard, and they have a DDLA on mine. However, they are losing.
Kind of felt like that was right one of that fake 2 cap that you're talking about, because I don't know, Tactical Error might get up. He does get a very good res from Zana, but he took about, he took a decent amount of damage there in the process of getting that res. Still has Elixir X if he wants to use it here. Oz is going to help him out as well off of respawn. They do take down Tactical Error once again, going in for the S res. The stomp coming out from Shadow Shooter does not get that stomp there. Pretty good res and awareness from this blue team, trying to get back into this one. Still down about 50 points here. They need to make something of Shadow Shooter being low here. He doesn't have many cooldowns left. What are we going to see from this blue team? Are they able to take this 2 cap once again?
It's going to be hard to say. I mean, they've lost pretty much every actual team fight, so even if they were to take this 2 cap, I'm sure that ASAP Zerg could just flex one of those points and win it effortlessly, and then kind of just hold them a bit longer. I mean, ASAP Zerg, they're doing an alright job. I mean, right now they have a Mesmer holding mid. If blue team, if Hello Kitty would actually push that point, occasionally push those back caps, I'm sure they would be able to get it with pretty ease.
Oh man, we do see the stomp for Pixel Surge on to Sirius Kane as they do wrap that fight up, because they came off of respawn. Meanwhile, we do have Tactical Error going for the Chieftain kill, get them an extra 25 points here. There's no one even for the red team even close. That should be a free pickup. Despite that, the decap from Ozatri happens at the midpoint. That is huge, as they're only down 20 points now with the 1 cap each team's favor. Though they do need to make a quick push to this midpoint. Ozatri is going to be taken into the downstate pretty easily there for the red team.
Well, I have to say this is still a pretty close game if you actually look at it by points, and I think it's pretty interesting that blue team has kept up with them so well. They've been doing a good job at actually keeping those, well, keeping the pressure going on those points and kind of outnumbering red team occasionally. And it looks like blue team is actually really trying to hold down that Henge point with that Guardian. In fact, they have a Guardian and a Soldier Engineer trying to 2v1 Shadow Shooter. Probably not a smart move when it comes to ASAP, no, sorry, Hello Kitty here. And in fact, now there's a 1v1 going on in this Henge point, and it's Einstein against Shadow Shooter.
That's really tough for Einstein because he really has minimal Connie clear. Despite that, we see ASAP Zerg taking that 2-cap once again. We are going to see Oz of Treat plus this fight over here against Pixel Surge, who is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Has nobody on respawn for him, and it looks like we do have a DC on the side of ASAP Zerg. Very unfortunate for them. They had not actually called it up, but they should be able to pick up a 2-cap here. We'll have to see how this progresses in the future, the coming minutes here, especially with Xylent being taken down. They are 4v5 around the map.
Blue team grabbed the capture point.
Yep, that can certainly cause some problems. I'm just looking at the fight here going on Henge Point, and it's kind of interesting what's happening. I mean, tactical error is going down. He's getting low, but if he's smart, he'll actually be able to escape here. It looks like he does. He is able to escape, but he gave them that point. The Guardian, Debets, never actually got onto that Henge Point while it was still neutralized, so now I guess that looks like Hello Kitty is really going to start pushing mid.
Red team doing a great job, and still in this 4v5. Looks like Kent is actually back online. He's trying to get back into this game now. We'll have to see when he gets in here. They're still managing to hold on to a 2-cap. They're playing this perfectly right now. We saw them clean up the fight at Henge. Oh man, the tactical retreat, getting that rampage. Actually going to take down Ahmed, get his member back up out of the downstate there, putting out some damage onto Ahmed. Is it going to be enough? No, Ahmed back up into the... he still put out damage. Now Pixel Surge taken down, but he does get stealth by Starlet there. They know where he's at. They know he's in the downstate. They're not going to allow for that res to happen. Trying to get back into this one. Kent still out of this one, and I think this could be devastating for ASAP Zerg. What looked like a pretty impressive 4v5 play is going to hurt them in the end, and Kent finally coming back. It is going to be a 5v5 once again. Blue taking a 2-cap nonetheless.
I'm just taking a look here. I mean, Blue actually does have that 2-cap at this point. They have actually managed to wipe a point, and I mean, we're gonna have to see if they can hold this on. Now, it does look like ASAP Zerg has this Guardian, Kent Ravern, and Pixel Surge going in for that mine point. They're gonna be basically 2v1ing Oz of the Tree. If Oz of the Tree for Hello Kitty actually has Plague, that's unfortunate.
They're still down 40 points. Remember, they are going to clean up the fight at midpoint. Starlet's down. On the other side of the map, I mean, as long as Oz can hold off for its point in time, like you said, he has Plague. I strongly suggest he just uses it. Like, the Condi's taking on him. No Condi transfer available right now.
The chieftain has returned.
He's going to be taken down. He had Shroud, but didn't use it. I'm so confused why he hadn't actually used it. Debet's coming in here, but, man, unfortunate.
A lot of the times when it comes to Necromancer, you kind of want to save the Death Shroud, and you'll just like let yourself die, especially if you can just die on point and get stopped up quickly.
This close to the game, they're down 40 points. D-Bats has to hold off a 1v2. Xylent coming off a respawn to help him out, but is it enough? I don't know, because they're going to attempt to assault the Henge node as well with 2 people. They should be able to get the decap, but they're going to have to give up that mine point in the process with 2 more members of ASAP Zerg making their way over here.
We're gonna have to see. This is gonna be pretty hard for the blue team to kind of recapture these points and hold on long enough to actually, get back to the lead. I think it's interesting what Shadow Shooter is doing. A Shadow Shooter for ASAP Zerg has been holding out with basically full health in a 2v1 against Tactical Error.
Oh, the portal! But it's not enough, it looks like. Ahmed actually coming through now. He's going to get the res, I think. Serious Kane, is he able to hold him off? I don't think so. No, the res comes up, and we are going to see Tactical Retreat probably going for Chieftain once again. I don't think that's a terrible idea, but Serious Kane is going to be 1v3 at the midpoint.
I actually agree with the Chieftain move. I'm not against that because I don't think he really would have been able to get to mid in time to really help out to too much of an effect. Oh, but if he gets...
Oh, but Oz of Tree is there as well. I'm not exactly sure.
No, Oz of Tree is on his team.
Yeah, he's over near the Chieftain, and Serious Kane's taken down here. They are going to get 2-capped, I think. And, I mean, this could very well come down to a spawnier kill right now. It looks like Xylent is starting it off.
It looks like blue team Oz is going to go around backside. Go for that spawning.
Oz should go to
mid. They might push a point.
I'm very confused. This could go either way, honestly. Extra 25 points.
Yeah.
Red team will win if
Warrior's going to go to point and rampage this and get that point pretty much immediately. That's what, oh no, he's not.
But Starlet is sitting here.
Move.
Starlet is sitting here. He throws out the Moa, trying to get the kill. Is the Moa long enough? No, it is, and he picks up the kill. Starlet getting the spawner for his team. Didn't even need it, I don't think.
Wow.
And picking up game number 1 over Hello Kitty Island Adventures.
That is definitely not what they needed to get through here. Oh well, what can you do?
I mean, just thinking about that last game, that was, despite, Tactical Error had, going for the Chieftain twice there. I think it was in good position to do so, but was it enough to... I just don't agree with some of the rotations to the midpoint there. Ozatri could have been there earlier, could have plagued on the point and never give up the cap, but of course, they would have had to get this Farnier kill regardless, but... very unfortunate on the side of Hello Kitty. We'll have to see if they're going to clean up some of those mistakes in this game number 2 and take it to a map number 3 on Battle of Kyle.
I have to say it was a close game. I mean, ASAP Zerg definitely won a lot of those mid fights, and they were doing quite a bit of Zerging, and I think Blue Team took advantage of that and was able to get numerous decaps, which certainly caused some problems and issues for Red Team.
They really were. And one of the things about the Mesmer portal, a lot of people don't realize, is it kind of provides a way, especially if you don't have a thief, to not have to Zerg. I mean, it's such a great utility that I don't think was used to its fullest potential from Ahmed. I think he had some nice plays getting Xiolent out of that hedge point after he died, got him back up to get him into mid to 3v1 Surge. That was an excellent play. Got a hand to him. But we didn't see a whole lot of the offensive portals, and those are the ones that really stand out. If it's used defensively, it can be good, but it can't be as effective as it is when it is an offensive portal. And we'll have to see if he's going to use that here to, you know, in better ways on Legacy the Fulford. And I think this is really one of the maps it can really be abused, and we'll have to see if he's going to be able to do that.
Portal can almost be considered cheatful at times if it's used well enough by, you know, some of those top tier Mesmers, especially with a good Mes Thief combo. I mean, this team isn't quite supporting a Mes Thief, but if he could just use that Portal maybe in conjunction with that Guardian, that basically Fire Burst Guard, then I think we could really see some interesting plays happen, especially on this map when, you know, there's a potential of killing Lord.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, they don't have a Mes Thief combo, but that doesn't mean you can't use it offensively. That doesn't mean you can't use it like we've seen Zeromas so many times where they lose a fight and then they push one place, he puts the portal down, they all go back, kill the one guy standing on the node instantly, get the decap, get the full cap, and wipe up the rest of the team. I mean, that is something we see time after. That is an offensive portal. I mean, he can use it if he brought like Kent through to help, you know, Connie bomb him or something like that with Shadow Shooter or something like that. But we'll have to see how he uses it. You know, I don't think that was the thing that really hurt them the most. I think that ASAP Zerg, despite getting the win, like you said, they were Zerging a lot, and they really didn't keep an eye on their own nodes. There were so many decaps, despite a 4v5 for a brief moment there, so many decaps that came out from this blue team. And if they're able to keep that up and they can win some more team fights and superior rotations as a whole, they should be able to take this game number 2.
I agree with that. I mean, we're going to have to see. It was a close game. Maybe there were a little mess ups on Blue Team, especially if Hello Kitty's a new team. They could be still working some things out to try and, you know, start having some successful games. So, who knows? It might be to pull some things out in this game and maybe possibly a future one if we make it to Kylo.
Yeah, what would you like to see from this Blue Team to take the second game? I mean, like I said, there's multiple things they could improve. What do you think they got to do in the second match here to take a victory for themselves?
Ooh, well, I'm gonna have to say win a team fight. Maybe one, maybe two, but that's really the downfall of Blue Team so far. They managed to lose quite a few to ASAP Zerg in the last game, so if they can maybe pull that back around, then there is of course a possibility of winning this game. Possibly a Lord Rush. I mean, that's always, you know, a possibility here, so we're just gonna have to see.
The match starts soon.
Looks like we do have both teams ready up. This game number 2. If ASAP Zerg take it, they will be moving on into the semifinals to take on Last Minute Dream. Another very strong team in this tournament tonight. Although Hello Kitty Island Adventures looking to move on to Battle of Kylo with the victory here, taking a look at the opening splits. Looks like Oz going to be heading to that waterfall. Surge going to the quarry node, and a 3-node push coming out here from the red team. I expected it, especially with Shadow Shooter winning the last one against Oz on the last map. He probably expects to do the same thing here as well.
Yeah, but it might take a while on that waterfall point. I mean, that is basically the, you know, drawn out, hold it for a long time point.
But Xiolent had swapped, by the way. He did swap over to the Ranger from the Engineer to Power Ranger. So I do just want to point that out.
Red team wins.
In any case, though, there's some pretty interesting fights developing, especially in this area between Waterfall and Mid. Looks like Xiolent Knight is getting out a hell of a lot of damage on Kent here. It looks like Kent Rivion is basically the main focus of the Hello Kitty team, and he's getting pretty close to going down. He's kind of running away right now, and again, he plays that Condi build, and he has basically nothing left at this point, so we're going to see if he actually goes down.
Like that,
he is getting pretty low.
Point.
Love seeing that pew-pew on Legacy from that, from that Power Ranger.
Taking a quick look at the waterfall, looks like Oz was able to get the full cap. Despite that, he is so low. No Condi Killer left. He is going to be taken down by Shadow Shooter, unfortunately for him once again. And Tactical Error taken down as well near the midpoint. Serious Kane going after the res. Does get him back up. Xiolent Knight, though, taken down as well. This is looking very bad for this blue team, especially after losing the fight over here at the waterfall. And it looks like at the midpoint, Serious Kane lagging around a little bit, but they're down 2 members around the map. 100% HP health pools right here for the red team. This is not a very strong start for Hello Kitty.
Well, I have to say that this is the snowball map. I mean, hopefully they can regain this, get some momentum going, and start pushing across the map and maybe hold a few points. But if Red Team is doing this here in the beginning, it might be kind of a trend. It might follow through the rest of the game. I'm hoping that's not the case. Hoping this can be pretty close. But
what was that? Tactical error had the stomp, went down with it, and it never stomped. So the res came out, and it's going to be a huge turn. I am very confused. Maybe he just left the stomp too. It was a quickness stomp. So it's the what you see is not always accurate with the quickness stomp. I mean, he left too early. You have to wait until you see the stomp come out. Unfortunately for him, that really turned the fight around. Despite that, Shadow Shooter was taken out there. Starker making his way to support his team over here at this waterfall node. Tactical error taken down once again. We'll have to see if the stomp's coming out from Kent. He should be able to get it done. Oh, nice knockback. Excellent knockback coming out there from Silent Knight. Despite that, the stomp's still going to be coming out. Too much cleave onto Tactical error.
I have to say that is unfortunate for Tactical error. I saw him holding on by his Endure Pains there for a bit, but it looks like that this is a pretty devastating loss for the blue team. Definitely not what they were needing to get back in the game here. Hopefully they can regroup, make a solid push. I'd recommend honestly pushing through Koi. Pushing through Waterfall is going to be a hell against whatever they leave here. It looks like Red Team is going to be content just leaving a portal here once they cap it, and they're going to take a secure presence across the points here, holding those sides. So,
yeah, D-Bad's under a little pressure. So is Oz, who's about 25% HP out of this Shroud here. A lot of damage coming out onto him as D-Bets is clustered up with him. Throws down a well, but probably going to be taken out regardless as D-Bets going to go in for it. Nice res almost instantly coming out there from D-Bets. It looks like, is he running Mercy Runes? No, he is not. That was just a very quick res on the side of him. Not enough cleave coming out there from ASAP Sir. Despite that, still relatively low health pools for the blue team, excuse me, as Oz taken out. Here's the stab stop from Pixel Surge. Gonna solidify another kill for themselves as D-Bats might be taken out as well. Able to get shelter off. Isn't enough though.
I have to say, everybody seems to be going down this mid fight for the blue team. Again, ASAP Zuri is just dominating these mid fights, and that's really going to be causing a problem for Hello Kitty. And it looks like Tactical Error is going to be taken down in a horrible spot too. They should just bleed him for days. It might be no, actually, it looks like Silent Knight's going for the res here in Tactical Error. If he can get this can really turn things around.
Oh, he gets him, but Vampire's going to pop for him and taken into the downstate there. The Condi's taking in the Vampire, but just instantly took him down. Very unfortunate for him. Tactical error now going to be left with, looks like that's Kent. No Condi clear. Trying to pop the Rampage with like 100 health with 5 burn stacks. Not exactly sure what that was about. Thankfully, he didn't get it popped because that would have been a very long cooldown wasted nonetheless. And
I see Crisis pop all the time in defense, but it's in defense of direct power damage. It certainly doesn't help to that much of an extent against like a 5 burn stack.
Yeah, especially with like 1,000 health, there's absolutely no reason to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the health pools for ASAP Surge. 100%, nearly 100% for all 5 members here, taking down D-Bets. No res coming out there from Ozatri. This is one of those situations for Hello Kitty Island Adventures, which they need to just full regroup. Look at their team right now. They just keep filing into the midpoint just because it's decap. Silent look to push a 1v1 over at far, just coming into the midpoint, just to rally in here once again. This is not what you need to do as a team. You need to fully regroup at the waterfall and push in as a team. They should have done that 3.5 minutes ago, if not longer, as soon as they lost a couple members. I think it might just be too far out for them to take this game.
And that's how I can go in this map, and this is what I was kind of afraid of in the beginning when ASAP Zero got all that momentum and started kind of beating the blue team, beating Hello Kitty Island Adventures, yeah, that's the full name, into the home node. I mean, it's just a brutal map to come back from. This can often happen. I mean, I've gotten 515 on this map against Observe when we get like 200, 300 points against them on Nephalahel. This can just be a snowball map. I mean,
it really
that's
can.
how it is.
And look at the health pools. I mean, the health pools just really represent the amount of damage that this red team, excuse me, is putting out onto them, and they're really not able to react or do anything. They haven't gotten the full regroup as a team since the start of the game. They're just on their own pages right now. And this is how we see so many teams falter. You just got to get on the same page. Tactical error pushing for Corey. Not a bad thing to do. Maybe just trying to get some points for their team, as you know, that don't want to get totally pummeled here. Trying to take a mid fight is Kent. Probably going to be taking the downstate. Look at the Condis. He is taken into the downstate though. Almost an instant reds coming out for ASAP Zero.
I'm going to say this just on a different note because this is pretty much in their favor, so I'm just going to go off on a little tangent here. The Necromancer, not really sure why he's running that build or in mid so much. It is horrendous to be in mid with that Sig build, especially with the well. I mean, he's just kind of on point. He's literally on the middle of the point doing his stuff. That's really, he's not providing much focus, he's not providing many kills or much damage. He's basically just running in and committing suicide at mid like 3 times in a row here. So
I mean,
don't
blue
know.
team did get sides just briefly, but Shadow Shooter rotated out to the waterfall. It would have been it really would have helped. Blue team and Silent Knight had went there as well, but tactical error going for the gate already.
And that's something I keep seeing on this game as well as the last one. Blue team takes advantage of the fact that they lose a mid fight and quickly run to sides, grab a node, grab maybe another node for a moment and lose them. I mean, it looks like they're trying to put points on the board, trying to make it look close, maybe just to make themselves look better, I don't really know. But they should really focus on coming together as a group, pushing through a node that's easier to get, and then going for it. Yeah, it looks like we have Lord kills happening on both sides, but it really doesn't matter at all for the blue team. It looks like red team is going to be getting that Lord pretty darn quickly. ASAP Zerg has the time warp down, and Lord is getting wrecked right now. They have 3 members of the team on it.
Yeah, there was a double Lord play from both teams, and ASAP Zerg taking theirs very fast. We'll have to see. Yeah, there is a Lord kill, so they get some points for themselves. But game number 2 going to be going in favor of ASAP Zerg. Pretty good game, don't you think? Oh, I mean, not that game, but pretty good series. I think those teams were, you know, maybe ASAP, or excuse me, Telekitty, just a little overwhelmed there.
Yeah, I have to say I was hoping for a closer, more interesting game. I mean, what can I say that this is the map for these types of snowballing, or this type of snowballing to occur, so yeah, well, better luck next time.
Yeah, definitely. So I do have an update, though. I want to put, this is a very interesting update, very interesting. We do have a result of the first game between the #1 seed in the tournament. That would be Impossible Solutions, if I'm not mistaken, that is their name, who got second last week, lost to Button Mashers. They have lost game #1 to the free agent team, 500 to 483. Incredible that a free, I mean, this is the time of the free agents, I have to say, because last week a free agent team,
please let me
almost,
free agents.
last week the free agent team almost went to the finals, and this week they are on the verge of getting to the semifinals, taking game #1 over Impossible Solutions. Very interesting indeed, but it looks like ASAP Zerg going on over Hello Kitty Island Adventures 2-0, going to be taking on Last Minute Dream in the next set. Last Minute Dream, a few more known members, I think, than that last Hello Kitty Island team. But, you know, nonetheless, going to be a good team. Guys, we're going to head to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few.
Yep. I have Skype like on the far opposite screen.
I'll be Try not to fall, try not to lose any hope that the dawn might bring. Losing faith in me and everything I do, but now we'll be okay. We're alright, and we're not coming down. There'll be no holding on. And we say that we're
Welcome back, everybody, to the Academy Gaming Weekly number 40. We have OPN on cam here. There is a little bit of a white tint to his cam because of the overlay that had never been taken out. Unfortunately, you can still see him pretty easily there. But
We're doing whiteface now? Is that
no.
considered racist?
No, it's just a little bit of a hue tint over on top of it. But OPN on cam here. Glad to have first cam for a long time. Anyhow, but it looks like we got our next match ready for you guys. I just want you to take in looking at OPM for the first time on cam, so we'll just give him a minute here. Our next match is ASAP Zerg up against Last Minute something. Last Minute Dream. That's what it is. Pretty much a Paw and Fox Pug here, so let's go ahead and get into this match here. We've got ASAP Zerg once again over here on the red, Last Minute Dream over on the blue. You want to go ahead and take us away with ASAP Zerg.
Okay, so going through these builds once again, it looks like Ahmed Avro is actually going to be running Time Warp this time, so that's going to be no, actually he ran Time Warp last time. In the case though, he's running an extremely high damage Mesmer build, sporting that Assassin's Amulet, so he's going to be pretty easy to kill. But he is also running that Great Sword Torch there, so you got to watch out for those plays that he makes, and I believe he's also running Portal. Well, actually, he keeps switching things out. Who knows what he's going to run when it actually comes to. Going down the line, we have a DDLE rocking those double incinerators. I am jealous. And he, of course, has Celestial Holbreck, and he is running the fire trait line, so he's very tanky, does a moderate amount of damage. Thank God for Aided's slight debuffing there. And then we have Shadow Shooter below that, running the Settler Amulet, and I call this just a 1v1 master build. I mean, he really just takes down everything with this build. I'd be hard-pressed to kill it with any of my builds. And he is, of course, running Entangle, Settlers, Amulets, and Balthazar Runes, so it's going to be pretty brutal to go against. It's kind of a Condi amalgamation build. And then Kent Wyvern below that with a Carrion Amulet and Balthazar Runes, so he is a Guardian that is meant to do crazy fire damage. Maybe some 1v1 capability, but a lot of burst fire kind of...
Burn build.
Just mean build. Yeah, burn build is what I was looking for. In that case, we have Stalker right below it. I say below because I'm just looking at the list here on the left. In any case, he is running a Cleric Bunker Guard. I'm very familiar with this build. This is, I consider this the Tage build. He's pretty much the one that the person who came up with this. This, of course, is Mace Focus Staff, and he's running with the Quickness Shout. Kind of interested to see that he's taking this out to the nerf to it, but, you know, whatever suits his particular playstyle. So, that would be ASAP Zerg at this time.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look over here at this blue team Last Minute Dream. We've got Caesar, who is more or less known for playing more Thief, if I'm not mistaken, but he's got Fox on his team, so Fox going to be, I don't want to say the more experienced Thief or better Thief, but he is, Fox only plays Thief, basically, so he'll be playing the Thief for this team. Caesar playing DDLE. Honestly, DDLE is basically, if somebody's playing your class, you just go to DDLE because everybody knows how to play it now. But he's running with Vampire, Selly Amulet, running Fire, Water, and Arcane. So, going to be the second DDLE. Nothing, actually, yeah, running basically the exact same build. Fox running DP with that short bow. Vampires, Marauder Amulet going to be running Lay Arts, Shadow Arts, and Trickery. Now, this is the interesting part. We do have a Burn Guardian and a Condi Ranger going up against two Engineers. Very interesting. That's not going to really go in their favor. They do have two DDLEs to cleanse those Condis, but still, that's a lot of Condis putting out. It's not going to really be a good 1v1 matchup for either of these Engies, so we'll most likely see those guys in the mid-fights. But Darth being the first one running Soldier's Amulet with the rifle, Vampirins as well running Explosives, Alchemy, and Inventions there with the Slick Shoes and the Mortar Kit. Now, Harley Quinn, that is Pawpaw, running the second engineer, running Pistol with the Selly Amulet. Holbrook Rune's going to be running Alchemy, Firearms, and Inventions as well. This is something we see quite often from Trackful, as well as a couple other engineers. Honestly, this is a very strong build. Watch out for this. This is going to be, it's pretty darn good build. I'll say this is like the new Selly build for Engie. Not to say that there aren't.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, not to say there isn't a Selly build for Rifle, but this is one that we see more often, I would say now, and at least in Academy Gaming. We really don't see this in ESL for the most part, but this is actually a pretty darn good build.
Oh, wait, is that the build that Tesla runs?
Well, I think this might be.
If it is, I mean that's a. No, he doesn't run pistol.
Yeah,
no,
he ran Rifle, but this build, honestly, we saw it from Trackful in the 2v2 tournament. It's a pretty good build, I would have to say. It's just look out for it in this game. But the real thing I think that's up in the air is the fact Shadow Shooter is playing that Condi Ranger. I guarantee it, 100%, we will see him push that Henge node right at the start of the game. And then Kent running the Burn Guardian. It's going to be very difficult for Darth and Harley Quinn here to keep up with that and, cleanse those Condis. Fox obviously running Shadow Arts is a decent amount of Condi clear, as well as Elementalists, which those engineers are going to rely on specifically to make sure they don't go down in a few seconds.
I'm just loving what they're saying in map chat here. They're such funny individuals. They're comedians on ASAP Zerg. So this is gonna be quite interesting. I kind of enjoy watching Ahmed go around and one-shot people with his crazy Mesmer build. I mean, look at that, just running a Scholar and Assassin. Now that is just ballsy. Wait, has that afro?
Yeah, he ran that last game, and it seemed to, it worked for him. And I mean, as with Mesmer, you still have a decent health pool, about almost 16k health. Even without Marauder, you're up to about 21k with Marauder Amulet or so. But,
you can just barely get away.
Scholar Runes as well. I mean, that is something, if we ever see, we might see on a warrior, a Zerker warrior. When we see Crisis running a few times. No, I'm talking about Scholar Runes. The Scholar Runes. Scholar Runes we do see. Sometimes on warriors. Well, never on Thieves anymore. And rarely on Mesmers, so...
I've been running Scholar a lot on my, what's it called, Dragon Hunter build. Actually works great because your traps hit half the time when you're at full health anyway, so might as well run Scholar there.
Just waiting on Dart to ready up here, but looking at these teams, we already saw ASAP Zerg. Most of, if not all of these players on this blue team. Who do you think is going to take this game number 1, or at least the whole set?
I think blue team is going to wreck ASAP Zerg. I mean, just looking here, we have Foxnip. Honestly, Darth, I've had good and bad experience with him. Harlequin, I've seen there's a guy around and he seems to pull some damage.
Pawpaw.
Oh, that's Pawpaw?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I think blue team, which would be last minute dream, is probably gonna win this. That's just my thoughts on this, at least from the people that I see on blue team. I mean, I've gone against a lot of them personally, and it's gonna be hard. I mean, they have a pretty interesting comp. I would not by any means say it's a bad comp. It's actually reminiscent of what Abjur plays on occasion, except no Necromancer. But they have the double LE, double NG, and a Thief. I mean, that's gonna be pretty brutal brawler skirmishy comp that can also do some work in mid fights. So that's at least my thoughts on it.
Yeah, and let this semifinal matchup between ASAP Zerg and Last Minute Dream commence here. Let's take a look at the opening splits for both of these teams, both looking to get a share of that gem prize pool in the finals if they do happen to win this. But it looks like Shadow Shooter, as anticipated, pushing for that Henge node. No crossers coming out here for this blue team. Pretty much a standard opening split for both of these teams right now. And Stealth coming out from Foxit, probably going to be looking to spike down one of this ASAP Zerg team's members.
I'm just looking here. It looks like Fixed Surge has capped home, and it looks like that ASAP Zerg is also doing a good job putting a portal down. I mean,
I have to point something out here. I'm very surprised to see Harley Quinn being the one to push the 1v1. It's a better 1v1 spec than this in terms of going up against this build that Shadow Shooter's running than what Darth was running. But still, this is not a fight that Harley Quinn will win. Unless Shadow Shooter has a bunch of mistakes, I don't think he's going to win this. There's a lot of county output coming out from Harley Quinn, but there's so much that Shadow Shooter can keep up with, especially with that healing spring there. I don't know. This is tough. This is a huge 1v1, but take it away. What's going on at the
I'm going to be honest with you. I would never push a 1v1 against Shadow Shooter with nothing I could possibly play. It's just not
maybe an elementalist. I mean, that has Kalani clear. And I mean, Harley Quinn's doing a good job of keeping up with the con. He has a good amount of Kalani clear, especially with the Elixir gun. On top of that, so he's actually holding up relatively well. But I think in the end, he will drop. I do.
Look at what happened actually on the Mino. It looks like Kent with Urine did manage to take down Afro Thunder there for the moment, but Afro Thunder did get res, and he's actually getting away at this point. And it looks like Red Team ASAP Zurich has secured mine. And let's see how this fight at mid's going. Who has momentum here? No, it seems to be a pretty even fight. This is just attrition versus attrition at mid.
Looks like Harley Quinn is going to lose the 1v1. As anticipated there.
Let's see why he pushed against him.
Yeah, despite that, Caesar going to be able to get the full cap back at that home node. A decap coming out there from Foxit. And going on to the midpoint. I mean, a very slight lead here for ASAP.
Yeah, he's going to immediately run from that burn guard because there is no way a thief can take that, no matter how skilled you are. And it looks like ASAP Zurich is going to be taking mine back in their favor. But that's a good time for Foxen to go and plus in that mid fight and hopefully get some traction here. I mean, if they could 3v2 this, quickly take somebody out, then they can actually grab mid. It looks like that's what they're trying to do to Stalker here. Stalker's at half health. They're choosing the bunker guard. I do not see why they're trying to go after the bunker guard here. That's just not going to happen. Maybe they think if they take him out, they can get this point. It looks like they are changing their focus now to Ahmed. Ahmed actually did go down at mid. He probably just got randomly bursted out running that Assassin's build. But it looks like Stalker did manage to get that res.
Oh no, there he finally gets him back up. That's very good for
close.
this team. We do have Darth actually exiting the midpoint, going to the mine to get that decap as they are down about 55-0 here at the start of this game. Not a single point in favor of this blue team. They need to get something going. Not a terrible, disadvantage to be at, but they know they need to get something going. Harley Quinn, though, look at the con he's taking from Shadow Shooter on him. Elixir S gonna pop for him right there, trying to stay alive, gets his elixir off, and Fox gonna push him or pull him into that Shadow Refuge there. Blue team finally getting their first points.
I was gonna say finally. Now they actually need to hold that though. Darth capped that one immediately to mid, and that's going to leave them open to potentially somebody on red team, possibly the Mesmer going and stealing that. But it looks like Pixel Surge actually did go down at mid. But the Guardian again, that Guardian is making a ton of reses. Who is that? That would be Stalker. He's been doing an excellent job at mid, holding that down for the red team, at least keeping it neutralized. But it looks like neither team is really getting too much traction at mid. Nobody's really winning that fight. The main battle is happening over here at Hinge. It seems to be pretty close.
Red team should be able to pick up the cap. Blue team is really skirmishing off point, and that's really, I don't think, what they should be doing. Fox almost gets taken out there. Vampire's going to pop, but he will be taken out from the Condi's ticking on top of him, so that should be a free kill coming out there for this ASAP Zerg. Ahmed still has not had to use the Time Warp in any really big situations yet, so he has that at his disposal if he needs to, especially with Starker at the midpoint. If he is taken down, he can throw down that Time Warp, get the res almost instantly. We might see that here if they're wanting to pick up a kill or two or get this 2-cap for the first time this game.
I really don't see blue taking this fight at mid. I mean, red team has a bunker guard here. That's just tremendously in their favor. Not only that, but they also have this Mesmer, which can jump up at any time backside. And Foxdip is nowhere near mid, so I really don't think blue team has any chance of taking mid from red team. And it looks like Shadow Shooter actually did go down at
yeah,
Hinge.
That's going to really put. Fox came off a respawn and helped him out with the 1v2 there. So, pretty good. And Fox is going to get to the midpoint before they get that full cap. So, really good rotations overall, I want to say, coming out from Last Minute Dream, trying to get back into this game. We do have Pixel Surge going for that mine point, and Ahmed looks to be forcing a fight over here at the Henge point.
I have to say, I think that's a terrible decision for Ahmed to try and take on the Engineer and the point capped in Last Minute's favor. That's really not going to go in his. I mean, look at Harlequin. Harlequin is literally made for 1v1s. He should have no problem taking on Ahmed, who's running that silly Assassin's build, and that does seem to be the case. So Ahmed should probably leave. I mean, he's actually even getting plus now by the Thief. That was a bad rotation on ASAP Zerg's part. I would not have stationed Ahmed there. He needs to be coming into a fight, plussing and bursting it. I think the overall
thought process of behind him going for this 1v1 is they thought that they lost the midpoint, which they did, and he left the portal down there, which is about 15 seconds. He actually uses the portal now to go to the midpoint, sees that, gets Shadow. Okay, so they are going to get this decap. I don't think Huntok. No, Huntok does get onto the point just barely. If he does get knocked off once, though, he will be giving up the decap, so we'll have to see if that's going to happen, or if the kill just might come out. Look at the Condi seeing on 6 burns, able to cleanse it, but still doesn't have water to it. Vampire's going to proc for him, does have some help finally with Caesar being here for support, but will it be enough as they are still down about 15 points in, or excuse me, up 15 points in this game, after they did manage to force a comeback. There's a time warp for the first time this game coming out
that
from
got an
Aukman.
amazing res. I've always wanted to play grinding with like a time warp Mesmer, and that seems to be the case here. Kent got up pretty much instantaneously, and they're putting the burst heavily down on Darth. Darth is actually getting extremely low. He has 8 stacks of fire, and he is down. Let's see if they can actually manage to either cleave this out or get that stop. And it looks like they're cleaving with everything that they have.
I'm very confused right now. Starker went in for the stomp, but canceled it. I'm not exactly sure what the thought process behind that was. There was no reason for him to cancel that. Fox going to try for a decap, going to be met by, I believe that is Surge over there at the mine point. But like you were saying, I mean, Kent's pretty low here at the midpoint. Doesn't have a whole lot. Uses his consecration there, but is he going to be up 6 burn stacks on him? Able to get them cleansed by Starker, trying to stay alive here. Darth under so much pressure. Doesn't have a whole lot left at his disposal, as we do see Kent finally taken into the downstate. The res coming out from Starker, gets it back up into the fight.
That was fantastic by Stalker. Again, they've been doing a fantastic job of getting reses. I'm not sure if maybe the blue team last match is having a problem doing cleave. Not really sure, but red team Observer has gotten a ton of reses, and he goes down again. I'm pretty sure he's just gonna get res right back up.
I mean, they've got 3 members. The stab stomp from Caesar will happen from that.
I try and call it that.
Yeah. Does get it with that cantrip there, able to get that stop. Now it looks like Starker's going to need a 1v3 here. Red team able to claim the cap over there at the henge point, as we did see Aukman leave the point. There is the portal. Excellent portal coming out there from Aukman to save Starker's life. They didn't really, they couldn't afford to have him go down as well, but Aukman went through and he didn't go back. I'm not exactly sure why Aukman decided to go through that portal. Dropped it. That should have been a purely defensive, not even, that should not have been an offensive portal. There's no reason Aukman should have went from, that was a very poor decision on his, and it might end up costing them in the end here.
There was an interesting 1v1 taking place over on this mine though, but it looks like Kent Rivierne went ahead and lost Surge there. Now a 2v2 has developed. Actually, this is a 5v2?
It's going to be 4v2, and I think that ultimately that play from Aukman might hurt them, as he's finally coming off a respawn. Still, they're going to be at a disadvantage here, over here at the mine point. Looks like a lot of damage going on to Darth. Darth only he uses that slick shoes, has his heal up, hasn't used it yet, finally gets it off. Oh, gets knocked out there. Very excellent illusionary wave coming out from Aukman.
He is invisible, but he's about to go down. He is down, and it looks like Foxnip got
2 of them were down.
Wow, that Shadow Refuge. Props to Foxnip right there for getting those reses. That was excellent. And it looks like Harlequin is going to go down, which is, again, going to be a pain for blue team to try and res. But, yeah, that fight is pretty much over. Red team ASAP Zerg did definitely win that fight in their favor. Again, ASAP Zerg seems to be dominating in these team fights.
Yeah, Shadow Shooter forcing a 1v1 between over Caesar. Honestly, Caesar should be able to hold off until he gets reinforcements from Darth, running from that mine point, gonna get to this midpoint, force a 2v3. You see Aukman making his way over here as well. It's like Darth's still under a whole lot of pressure. So is Caesar, who is running for his life. 25% HP, 1 cantrip left, and up about a second here. Water Tomb up in another 5 seconds. Should be able to get out of that one. Ride the lightning. Get the cap over on the henge. Saving themselves here, but red team should be able to pick a 2-cap. I'm very confused why they left a 1v1 between the elementalists over at the mine point. They had the resources. I'm not exactly sure.
For 2 seconds and finish him. I completely agree. That's really going to cost him. I mean, Ahmed Thunder is going to try and he's pulling people in here. They're trying to burst him out right now.
Not exactly sure why. Maybe the portal had expired. Okay, so the portal. I'm very confused why he dropped that portal. I mean, maybe he thought maybe it had expired. It was going to expire. I don't think, if it did, that was a very premature portal at the midpoint before he came out here. Hung regardless.
They just wanted to burst him down, and they succeeded in bursting Hung Tok down. That's exactly what they were going for, and the portal definitely accomplished that. And now they have that strong 2-nodes that they really need to hold on to.
Foxip is going for the res, stealth him up. There's a Shadow Refuge trying to get it. A lot of cleave coming out from an excellent updraft from Pixel Surge. Going to stop it, but not enough because they don't know where they're at. The res comes out from Foxip. Very good res coming out from him. And, I mean, you can't really auto-attack stealth targets with a Mesmer in the Greatsword. There's not a whole lot that Aukman could have done there.
I mean, you have that knock, but that's about it, especially if that's already on cooldown. In any case, though, this is going to be an interesting 2v2. We have a Mesmer and an Ellie versus an Ellie, and I thought that was a Thief. I'm going to take a look here.
We're taking a peek at the midpoint, though, where it looks like we saw the stump on the Starker. It was a 2v3. Kent now being taken down. Red team will be losing the 2-cap as they finally managed to get back in the lead. And Shadow Shooter, once again, winning the 1v1 over Harley Quinn quite easily, up to 100% HP right now.
Why did he go for it again? That's just terrible.
Yeah, and it looks like he knows Fox is coming. He knows he's getting 1v2'd. So he is going to play it safe. Fox popping the Bassy Venom, trying to get on top of Shadow Shooter up there. We'll have to see if Fox is going to leave this. But more reinforcements. Starker coming out for respawn, going to help him out here. As Fox leaving this point, really unsure of the rotations on the side of the blue team there. They need to get over to this hench point. There's no reason to force a 1v1. Toke should not be at the mine point, forcing a 1v1 against Pixel Surge
I completely
on his point.
I like what Darth is doing here. Darth actually managed to hold it out for quite a while with the Guardian and Shadow Shooter on him, which is great, but it looks like Darth actually did go down at this point. He's going to get stopped out basically immediately by Ahmed Afro Thunder. So with him down, this fight's going to be heavily in ASAP Zerg's favor, and they're probably going to take over that point pretty much immediately. So I'm assuming Blue Team is banking on getting a decap on this
in the
near future.
As Pixel Surge, I mean, they've got 4 members of their team, ASAP Zerg that is, over at the hench on the complete opposite side of the map. So despite that, it looked like Huntoke knew what he was doing, knew that Fox could come help him, and it was a very good rotation there from Fox to help him win that one and get that point for themselves. But despite that, the portal came out at the midpoint. Looks like Ahmed going to get on top of Beach Boy Caesar along with Starker. Is it going to be enough? We do see Ken coming in here as well.
At least he had those runes that helped him hold on for an extra second. I mean, he might be able to get some good, he might be able to get res. I mean, there is some possibility. In fact, he did get res. That's absolutely fantastic and exactly what Blue Team needed. So now that they have that DDLE on point there for mid node, Blue Team can hold this out potentially long enough to get back on the lead.
Ahmed does have portal if anything happens, and we'll have to see. This should be his last portal of the game. We'll have to see. Oh man, Pixel Surge getting a decap.
Terrible.
That is a very good. I mean, coming off of respawn, if I'm not mistaken, not sure what the blue team was thinking. Like, why would they leave that point? They had one guy coming off respawn, but it was far too late.
You know what was happening? Harlequin was going to go for a duel against Shadow Shooter again. Here's one.
Oh man, we see the time warp at the midpoint from Ahmed. Gonna guarantee the stomp onto Darth. Knew they needed that. They want to clean this fight up. Huntoke now under so much pressure. Vampire's gonna pop for him. Lightning Flash is the only thing that's left. Uses it along with this healing stick. That now he lightning flashes back to Ahmed. Unsure why he did that, because look at the bird. He's gonna be taken into the downstate. Not sure if he had him targeted and didn't mean to ride the lightning to him, but that was a very poor move on the side of Toke. Gonna end up costing him his life there, and now they're gonna be 4v5 around the map, being 2-capped. ASAP Zerg looking to take this game 1 here.
That is seriously unfortunate. I called the blue team to win this one. I said, I think they're going to do it. I think there's a good possibility, and this is happening. I really hope they can make a turnaround here and make me look at least a little good. I would appreciate that, but I just don't quite see that being the case. I mean, ASAP Zerg, they have Stalker sitting on mid. He is hard bunkering that. And then they have DDLEs all up inside of this henge point, so they're really going to hold this down too. And I mean, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna be very hard for blue team to recover from.
Yeah, especially with Darth going down here, and it looks like Fox getting pretty low as well. The Shadow Refuge coming out, nice illusion. Actually, not used illusionary wave, just didn't quite hit him. Fox ran into the wall, and Darth actually got back up. So that was actually a pretty poor illusionary wave from Ahmed. Usually it's easy to land, but unfortunately for him, Fox is already on the pillar there. Now it looks like they are going to piece out of this henge node, allowing ASAP Zerg to reap the benefits of this 2-cap still, and I think they should be able to take game number 1 here.
Yeah, it looks to be that way. I mean, maybe we can get some interesting Lord kills. I mean, I haven't seen any bosses go down this entire game. No chieftains, no Svanus, and those are critical resources. I mean, if they push that, that could really help. Actually, it looks like Shadow Shooter did go down at the midpoint, so possibly blue team can get this decap on mid. If they can get this decap
on the hedge.
2-cap.
Oh, could this be a complete turnaround? I don't know, because we are seeing Pixel Surge going for the mine cap. We'll have to see if he's able to get it, or if we're going to have Toke. Toke might get there in time. He does get there in time. So this is what we're looking at right now. I mean, Harley Quinn's going to get the decap at the midpoint. They need to get a decap over at the henge. 30 points away from victory for ASAP Zerg. I don't know. They have 2 tanky members for ASAP Zerg over at the henge point. Darth with the slick shoes, but Darth might be taken into the downstate. Looks like it is going to happen.
Just like
I think we're going to see ASAP Zerg take this game number 1. I don't think they're going to be able to take out Ken and Starker.
I mean, it was close. There was a chance there at the end.
I mean, no, there wasn't, because of the timer anyhow. So, you know, that's often overlooked.
To go. I didn't quite take that into account.
Exactly.
Well, damn, that was a close game.
Timed out game.
Back and forth.
I did not expect that to go timed out. Just so hyped into the cat. I mean, that was a pretty good game, I want to say. That was anyone's to take. And as soon as we saw Last Minute Dream kind of misrotate a lot of the time and give up multiple 1v1s to Shadow Shooter, I mean, ultimately, I think that's what cost them. Putting Harley Quinn in those 1v1s when I think it should have been Toke or Caesar in those 1v1s against Shadow Shooter.
Yeah, I have to say, blue team did a couple key things wrong. First of all, I'm going to say, honestly, Harlequin don't 1v1 Shadow Shooter, and especially don't get off home. Go to 1v1 him, then go back to home, and then I'm pretty sure you like lost 1v1 into a DDLE there. Pixel Surge, for ASAP Zerg, Pixel Surge did an amazing job getting decaps. He got, I think, either 2 or 3 key decaps, and then did some amazing and excellent 1v1. Shadow Shooter was just the best home point holder for ASAP Zerg. He was doing an excellent job.
He was a far point assaulter for most of that game, actually.
Well, I saw him take a lot of 1v1s against Harlequin at home. I guess, well, that's typically what home point defenders do. They grab home and then look for an opportunity and push far. I mean, that's...
That was his far point, if I'm not mistaken, the henge point.
Yeah, maybe the case. It could have been.
Yeah, I see what you're saying for the most part. I do have an update, though, from the quarterfinal match between the #1 seed Impossible Solution up against the free agent team, Team Orange Juice. Team Orange Juice took game #1, but were defeated in the end. The second week in a row where, I mean, a free agent team almost takes out the #1 overall seed. The second week in a row.
God damn, I gotta get into these free agents.
But Impossible Solution going to be taking on 5 men, 1 cup, an EU team
God,
in the semifinals on the upper half of the bracket. So the winner of this set will be taking on the winner of that. We might head to that one after this set is over. We'll have to see how that progresses here.
Hey, let's go wherever it's interesting. I have to say though that certainly was a good game. I mean, I think blue team absolutely has the potential to take red team. I mean, they were certainly showing it. They had some commanding fights, some good. They did have some good 1v1s, and Foxnip was doing an excellent job plussing and getting some kills. They just need to have some of the correct matchups going on. They need to watch their nodes appropriately. You'll only go for fraud node when they're not going to lose a 1v1. I guess Shadow Shooter may have been assaulting far though, to think about that. Kind of interesting to think about it from, this perspective. Spectating.
Definitely so. I mean, I'd be interested to see what this blue team's going to adjust with in the second game here. It doesn't look like any changes comp-wise for the most part. Yeah, there's absolutely no changes coming out for these guys. So it looks like last minute dream, are pretty confident with their setup here. I'm not so sure. Do you? Okay, if they allow for Shadow Shooter to continue to push that far point, it's going to be devastating for them, I think.
In the beginning, there's going to be a 1v1 between Harlequin and Shadow Shooter on one of the side points. Harlequin will lose, red team will grab sides, and then we'll kind of crush into middle, probably win that and snowball. And that's my assumption, at least from what I see from last game. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I really think it's going to be up to the blue team to match Shadow Shooter. I think they gave up so many points to him killing members and winning 1v1s. And I mean, not to say that these other guys didn't have some excellent plays, and we saw a lot of great reses coming out from Starker. Good rotations from Surge as a whole. Ahmed had some nice time warps. I mean, good plays as a whole from ASAP Zerg, but are they going to be able to keep it up against, I would say, a pretty decent blue team over here? I think it's going to be up to matching numbers and rotations, because mobility-wise, because of the fact we haven't seen amazing portal plays from Ahmed, count the portal out. I think that we have more mobility from the blue team, especially with that Thief, that I think they should be winning rotations.
I think blue team certainly does have the potential to win, and especially with the mobility and the rotations. And I mean, I love their comp too. Double LE, double NG Thief. That's just a great comp. You can't go wrong with that. However, with that comp, they're probably going to lose mid fights to a fight with a Guardian in it. So they just got to be very careful about that. They have to match things. They really have to be playing for, I'd say, all 3 points and trying to push skirmish like 2v2, 3v3 fights, and really not going for full mid fights. If they end up just trying to take full mid fights against red team, against ASAP Zerg, they're going to lose those fights. That's going to be unfortunate, so we're just going to have to see what happens and where they decide to go.
It looks like Darth is going to be swapping classes here. We'll have to see. I don't want to give the bad impression to Ahmed. I mean, I'm not saying his portals, the places of portals, his timing wasn't bad. I mean, they're just mainly used defensively. It wasn't like any offensive pushes. And the one time that we thought it was a nice defensive play, he went through the other side to take on a 1v4, getting taken down 5 seconds later, unfortunately.
Let's be clear about something, though. I don't even know why he's running Portal. I mean, I would say maybe because he's running Assassin's Amulet, he just needs it purely for defense. They don't have him as there, so they don't really have
I mean, you can have some offensive plays if you do it well, like Caesar Romas do so many times, but take a look at Darth. He is running Vampires. I don't like that on the Warrior. With Berserker Amulet, Axe Shield running defense, strength, and discipline. Almost identical to Crisis Shield, despite Vampires. I don't like them on the Warrior.
Crisis specifically says not to do that.
Take a look at the opening splits for both these teams. Looks like Hung Tok going for his home node, and as anticipated, Shadow Shooter going to be pushing for that waterfall, so they're going to match that. 2-2-1 coming out for the red team here. What do we got going on at the midpoint?
Well, at the midpoint, this is certainly going to be an interesting fight. I see California Beach Boy going in here for some epic damage. He's going to be rampaging soon. I just know it. He is kind of a trigger figure for that. They're actually going on Kent Riviere, and Kent Riviere is getting very low. And if they can keep on him, they can probably take him out. But now it looks like they're kind of changing the focus to the Mesmer. I'm not really sure here. It looks like Last Minute Dream is kind of going for whoever they can, and it looks like California Beach Boy did get that rampage, and he's going as hard as he possibly can on Ahmed Afro, which is certainly a good choice. But he did manage to pull out using that defensive portal again.
Yeah, and they're looking to get a kill over here. He goes back through the portal, actually. It looks like they won the fight over at the one. There's the time warp from Ahmed. The Shadow Refuge from Foxip. Nice illusionary wave. Is it going to be enough, though? Looks like they're going to get California Beach Boy back up as Foxip's still in the area. It wasn't a wasted time warp, but it just didn't do a whole lot because of the fact that Foxip was able to get that Shadow Refuge down. Now it is up to Caesar to stay alive. Look at the damage onto Caesar. He needs to stay alive here, as well as Darth, who is getting so low. No stance. He's running through the burn, and oh man, Darth ran through that consecration at least 3 or 4 times there, and Kent was able to easily take him out.
Definitely not a solid choice when it comes to Darth. I mean, what can you do? Maybe did he have a Berserker stance up? I don't think he did, but he may have.
Did you see that? Red team got a capture
he's certainly
point.
done at this point. This is going to put that team behind.
Oh man! So I had mentioned earlier on, Shadow Shooter needed to get a good match from the red team or blue team, excuse me, and they send their elementalists there, and Shadow Shooter still wins the 1v1. Still wins it. I mean, we saw the plus from Kent, but he had capped the full node.
Just avoid Shadow Shooter. Like, I've played against him before. Avoid him. Unless you have someone in your team who really knows how to counter that build, outplay that build, and get around it, don't do it. Because, like, for us, we would stick ready-made against him.
Darth popping 2 stances, goes in for the res, finds out it's a waste, too much cleave coming out from Shadow Shooter and Kent, not able to do it himself.
Well, I'm looking here. This is kind of what I imagined. I mean, red team is obviously dominating those mid fights. Blue team tried to push a mid fight against ASAP Surgat mid and lost it, and that's what I really thought would happen if they tried doing that. Blue team, Last Minute Dream really has kind of a skirmishing comp. They shouldn't be pushing these big mid fights, and it looks like that's what they keep doing, and they're kind of losing by it left and right. Yeah, hopefully they can.
At this point in time, the blue team, I mean, Darth is on respawn right now. And we see coming off of respawn, Surge going for the decap of the Quarry. They are going to have a 2-cap and a decap here. Last Minute Dream really needs to find themselves right here. Get to that waterfall, regroup as a team, because they're getting blown apart at every point on this map right now, and they're down over 100 points 3 minutes into this game. This is very devastating for this blue team.
Small thing I want to note here. Look what's going on at Waterfall. Hung Tok is 1v1ing Shadow Shooter. He is not going to get this. This is not going to happen. This is terrible. Like, this is Shadow Shooter's point. I mean, this is Waterfall. You never want to do this. They should be pushing on Corey a lot harder. I mean, I guess Blue Team is pushing on Corey here, and they're probably going to get this point, and they need to have some avenue to push after that, maybe mid, but I definitely would not go Waterfall against Shadow Shooter like that.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw the plus from Fox, so the decap actually came out, and Fox still about to be taken down. Here's Ahmed. There's a Shadow Refuge. So close to Fox. Fox leaves his own Shadow Refuge. I'm not exactly sure what that was from Fox. Leaves his own Shadow Refuge and gets stopped because of it. Now we're going to have a 2v1 against Tok, and Tok is going to be taken out rather quickly, if you ask me. 1 cantrip left for himself. Water teaming up for another 3 seconds. Chill really hindering his ability to get that up quicker. Vampirunes and Arcane Shield popping, but that will take him out regardless. And we're going to see a 2-cap, I think, coming out for this blue team, or red team, excuse me, once again.
I was literally about to say, hey Fox, that was a fantastic Shadow Refuge. Good job getting out. And then compliment him on his playstyle, but then he just hops right out of it and dies. It's like, that is just unfortunate.
Yeah, and Shadow Shooter making sure he gets the stomp over here as Fox comes in for the res. Will he have enough lead? That's the real question. He's going to use that Sun Spirit to get some more burns. there's so much Connie pressure. 12 burns we saw for a second there onto Darth, but Shadow Shooter gives up to get the full cap, which is okay because he's got Ahmed here in the area to help.
Yep.
So in the end,
oh,
Darth though.
This rampage is coming up pretty much immediately from Darth. Darth really wants this point. He's getting on Ahmed, then he's getting on Shadow Shooter. I think he's going on Shadow Shooter because if he gets him down, then he can actually get this point. So he's trying as hard as he possibly can to actually get Shadow Shooter, but his health is not moving. Shadow Shooter is doing an excellent job cutting that rampage, and Darth is already out of that rampage and basically wasted it. There's no decap that came out for him, and he's going to die. 10 stack of bleed is doing tremendous damage to him.
Yeah, Fox in the area. He should be able to get the res, or at least a stomp there. Fox takes out Shadow Shooter instead, but Toke in the area now. Oh man, that was an excellent play coming in for Fox.
You know what? Fox redeemed himself right there. That was absolutely fantastic. Well, while Darth was trying to kill somebody, he actually managed to basically take Shadow Shooter all the way down in just a few hits. Really, really key play right there. Shadow Shooter basically used all defensive capabilities against the rampage, so he didn't have anything for Fox, and Fox just came in there, got the stop, res his allies, and now a 2-cap finally comes out for the blue team. And you know what? It's not that late in the game. I mean, there is always a possibility they might need a Lord Rush, but no. Now he's down. Looks like Darth actually went down kind of between Waterfall and mid. I wouldn't even go for this res. I would just let him die and then just hold on to those 2 side nodes. They don't really need this res. But they're going to go for it. Hung is probably actually going to get this res for Darth. So, you know, I guess that is a good play. They're going mid here. What is your thoughts on last minute team going mid and really
I mean, they're backing, not backing it, but they're finding themselves in this game now with the 2-cap, with the sides here, Kent down at the midpoint. That's not, I mean, a lot of cleave coming out from Darth. Darth has really stepped up his game,
doing a good job
as
right
well as
here.
Fox over in the last few seconds here. And I mean, the decap actually comes out over at the quarry there, but they took down 2 members of ASAP. This could be something. I mean, this could be a little bit of a comeback for this blue team, but they have to keep up the pressure on these guys.
There goes Starker, but Starker might actually get rezzed here. He does have a thief. Not a thief. He has Ahmed trying. He goes down too. Darth literally just killed everybody. I think that was a 4-person down, and that would be a 4-person kill. So I would have to say Darth did an excellent job getting multiple people down there. His cleave. That was fantastic. So now ASAP Zerg they're looking much better. They actually have a 2-cap again. They did give up that whole node, but a significant amount of kills and pressure is really going for them.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of pressure from ASAP Zerg. This quarry node, so much coming back at them from this blue team, who are really, I mean, Darth is the one at the midpoint right now. Not so keen on that. Is Ahmed going to go right past him and stealth over to the waterfall?
Go ahead and take that.
I mean, both teams looking fairly healthy, but the red team, regardless, still having a quite significant lead, over 130 points right now. And if Ahmed gets his decap, which it looks like he is actually going to go for the gate. They are looking for a Lord play. He has Time Warp up as well as Portal. If he wants to drop the Portal here, he can go back to mid, say, hey guys, get off quarry, come back to mid, we're going to Portal, and we're going to kill the Lord.
I mean, here's really the problem. They should not have Darth watching that point, watching mid. They should have immediately rotated Darth out for one of the Elementalists, because the Elementalists can sit in between, he can heal things, he can 1v1 things. What's Darth going to do? I guess he can go and try and take out the Mesmer, but the Mesmer is simply going to put down the portal and get out. And that looks to be the case.
Yep, throws the portal down, stealths up.
Stealths
I
out.
wouldn't be surprised if he goes to mid. Why? See, if he wants to do the he needs to go to mid. Look at his team. They're all around the midpoint except Pixel Surge sitting at the quarry.
It's going to happen.
Pixel Surge, yeah, I think they're going to do it. There it is. As anticipated, Ahmed throws down the portal. 3 members going through. Nobody from the blue team even close. He has Time Warp. This should be an easy pickup. And ASAP Zerg taking game number 2 undoubtedly.
There goes the Time Warp. They're all on the Lord. And they're putting out as much pressure as possible. I mean, already 11 stacks of enormous damage coming
there, yeah, Shadow Shooter, so much con. 16 burn stacks at the end.
And 20 bleed. Holy cow. Dropped instantaneously. I'm going to note this. Darth should have noticed he put down the portal and just stayed there. Darth had Rampage. You can defend Lord pretty damn well with Rampage. I'm surprised he didn't just stay there and wait for it.
For sure. I mean, we anticipated that. We saw the portal, and even if somebody had stayed back for a last-minute dream there, I'm surprised. I mean, there's no way. I mean, ASAP Zerg, of course, would have went through the portal regardless of somebody being there. So I'm really surprised that blue team decided to just all go back to the midpoint. They knew that the portal was coming right there. Very surprised on their end of that, but it looks like we'll have ASAP Zerg for the first time, I want to say ever, going to the finals. I know they haven't made it to the finals in a long time. Maybe it's the first time ever, but they're going to be taking on Impossible Solution or 5 Men 1 Cup. you know, I got to give them credit there.
I really hope they go against 5-Man 1 Cup, because that name. In any case, though, I have to say I've seen some extreme team coordination coming out from that red team. I mean, they're running a pretty unorthodox comp. You don't see Mesmer every day without a Thief or somebody else to cover it with stealth. I mean, Mesmer is a thing. Mesmer Thief is a thing. Mesmer, Burn Guard, and Elementalist, Guardian. Kind of a amalgamation. In any case, they made it work. They had an excellent portal play there at the end and really managed to take down that boss pretty much instantaneously. The one thing I really do love about Red Team or ASAP Zerg's comp is the fact that they have a lot of Condi damage with that burst damage coming out from the Mesmer. So you have a great mix of Condi coming from that Condi Guard as well as the Ranger, and then that Mesmer can just come in and occasionally burst people, so it's going to be really hard to spec against. I mean, really what I would do if I had, you know, any classes to choose from and we're facing them is I would try and take a Thief to deal with the Mesmer, and then take lots and lots of Condi clear and probably some type of Staff Ellie to deal with Shadow Shooter, and always keep the Staff Ellie going against Shadow Shooter and just keep hunting down the Mesmer, and then you kind of be golden against ASAP Zerg, but it doesn't look like the team had choices like that. So it's going to be interesting to see what they pull against these other teams.
Yeah, definitely. So like we said, the next matchup for ASAP Zerg will be the final one of the evening. That will be between Impossible Solution or 5-Man 1 Cup. We'll have to see how that one progresses. We might actually take a look at that if it is still early on in that series. But guys, we're going to head to a short break here. And when we're back, we'll either have the end of that semifinal matchup or the final matchup of the evening. Please stay tuned.
Cambridge to Boston, lives in a world she's lost in, victim of compromise. He's staring at her Aberdeen heart, London eyes, Glasgow bones. She's whistling the catacombs, a paradox. He's in love with the statue in a marble block. He's in love with the girl that time forgot. She just shakes her ears. She's falling too far with salt in her scars. Won't let it taste her tears. She's falling too far. The girl that time forgot. Wasted moments, full of potential atonement, an angel in disguise. But he can see her Aberdeen heart, London eyes, Glasgow bones. She's a whistle in the catacombs, a paradox. Oh, he's in love with the statue in a marble block. He's in love with the girl that time forgot. She just shakes her ears. She's falling too far with salt in her scars. Won't let it taste her tears. She's falling too far. The girl that time forgot. The girl that time forgot. She just shakes her ears. She's falling too far with salt in her scars. Won't let him taste her tears. She's falling too yes, you're very quite tough. Always having bad luck. You think you're going crazy. Look up, there's a new life waiting. Your head's buried in the sand. You've been dealt the wrong hand. Can't imagine how you feel. Only you know that it's real. Don't look back, just carry.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Academy Gaming Weekly number 40. We have the second match on the Legacy of the Full Fire for the other semifinal between Impossible Solution and 5 Men. I'll just leave it at that. Ready for you guys. We're actually just going to jump right into this one. We did just see the end of it. It looked like 5 Men 1 Cup were able to take game number 1 over Impossible Solution quite handedly, about a 90 to 100 point victory for them on the Legacy of the Full Fire. But wanted to go ahead and show off who is going to be up against ASAP Zerg, one of these two teams in the grand finals after this series has ended. What do you think about these two teams? I mean, the guys on the red, or the blue, excuse me, we do know that they are from Europe. They are European players who play in the EU AG quite consistently. I don't believe they did prize today, but, you know, they are in this semifinal matchup taking on the #1 team in the tournament right here, and they're beating them.
Well, you gotta hand to the EU. They play things that we're not really accustomed to, so that can always be a challenge when facing each other. Especially that Mez Thief. I mean, EU, they have basically the best Mez Thief combos, the most synergized, and Red Team, it looks kind of thrown together. So
I don't know, man. After seeing Zoe and Knight yesterday in ESL, I have to say that was the best Thief Mez combo I have seen in a while. Maybe not an NA by far. That was impressive.
I'm gonna amend my statement. I feel pretty ashamed for NA right here because EU is also gonna be playing with a ridiculous ping. I mean, they're coming from EU AG. You know, they have incredibly high ping playing here, and they're going against our best team, the one that typically wins this.
Oh, one of them for sure. One of them for sure. I mean, these guys got second last week, lost to Button Mashers. But they are definitely a relatively strong team by far. I mean, these players are known pretty much in the scene. Not exactly sure who Impact.
Let's get back on the horse then.
I don't know who Impact is. I've seen it like once before in AG. Trixie though, the random weird guy, Chudat, plays in AG quite often. Big World vs. World plays Zord, he's a team member on Sin, and Trackful. A lot of people know him. I believe he is a substitute, or at least within the Apex team, maybe a substitute. I know he's been repping Apex quite a bit now. So, but these guys are relatively well known, going up against some EU guys for sure. I mean, we'll have to see how this game number 2 starts here.
This is gonna be an interesting game. I'm liking the EU guys as comp. I mean, that is a Mez Thief Necro double Ellie. So they have an Ellie for the actual point holding, and they have the Mez Thief Necro combo for absolutely ridiculous single target damage. I mean, basically, you choose your target. You can choose the Bunker Guard, you can choose an Elementalist, you choose whatever you want from the red team over here, and they're gonna kill it. So that's really what the red team has to deal with. I mean, the red team has a good damage combo themselves. I mean, they're rocking Mesmer, NG, and then Thief, and then they're running double Ellie as well. But the energy just doesn't quite bring what the Necro has on that blue team. I mean, that's really the only difference. Red team has an Engineer, blue team has a Necromancer, but I'm liking blue team's comp a bit more. I think it's a pretty mean comp. Isn't that basically what Spooky plays? I think so.
For which team here?
Blue team here. Isn't that basically Spooky's comp?
I believe so. No, they have a Necromancer in the team. They only have one Ellie. Wait. They do have... Okay, they do. Sorry, I had it hovered over and wasn't looking. Yeah, this... I believe it is. I mean, I always get members of Spooky and Team Faded mixed up. I believe...
Yeah. Team Faded runs like a Power Ranger. In any case, though, it looks like the match is actually starting, so we're going to have to see how these splits go out here. So, Team Impossible is red, and then the blue team is 5 men, 1...
Let's call them 5 man for easy.
Yeah, 5 man.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have Chudat going to that quarry node. We're going to have Jackie going over to the waterfall. 3-node play coming out for both teams, it looks like. An identical split for both of these teams. So you're going to have an LEV at the midpoint. Not going to be too interesting, but yeah, looking at the burst here, we're going to look at Chudat. I'm interested to see.
I'm going to keep an eye on the other side then. I'm interested to see if he plagues in time. Okay,
looks like Chudat able to get out of that one alive, but on the other side of the map, Jackie was actually spiked down by members of Impossible, so able to clean them up pretty easily there.
And that is unfortunate. I mean, he basically got one shot. At least he still has his cooldowns. That's the silver lining there. So he's going to res him in the mid and hopefully make a good impact in that mid fight. So the mid fight is underway here. Red team, blue team is actually at a disadvantage. So North America might be taking this mid fight. We're going to have to see what happens. Or should I say?
Yeah, it looks like Impact's going to get his Shadow Refuge down. Staying alive there despite that best LA Toronto actually taken down. There's some time warp coming out from, I think that was Sword. No, that wasn't Sword. It was Insomniac. Threw down that time warp. We get him back up, and now both teams. I mean, still 2-cap coming out here for Impossible Solutions. Pretty good start, I would say, nonetheless.
Or Impossible Solutions, those Impossible Problems. In any case, though, Impossible Problems is really trying to actually start the damage train here at mid. They've been kind of playing a catch-up defensive game so far in this mid fight. Best LA Toronto is getting a lot of damage. He's getting focused pretty hard, and he is down at this point. So we're going to see if potentially he can get res. He's going to go ahead and miss form, hopefully. And he did not miss form. He got killed all 3 out, completely clean. So he is dead, and this middle fight is certainly in the red team's favor. Impossible Solutions is going to be taking that. They can probably solidify a 2-cap if they actually decide to go out 2 sides. I guess they won't. Chudat did die on that waterfall point, so there's an interesting fight. I think it's an interesting 2v2 going over here on waterfall, but it looks like Zoe is going to be plussing for the red team. So this is now a 3v2 on waterfall, probably going to go in red team's favor. What do you think?
Yeah, looks like Red has the advantage, but we do have Jackie versus Zombies in the play for him there. A lot of damage coming out on the Zor. Needs to be very careful right now. Gonna pop. Oh man, does get spiked down there by, I believe that was Elperden. We threw him down as he did attempt to go into the massive. This wasn't able to get it up. Shootout going in for the res, but isn't enough. A lot of damage putting down onto him. Force the lightning flash onto the point. Cleansing wave not up for him. Have to see if he's able to get this res. Still going in for it, but so much damage onto Chudat. I don't think that was a good idea to go in for that.
He's going to be going in for that res as well, and he has the somebody up, but it's just not enough. You know, sometimes when you're resing a Mesmer, if you don't get it the first time, you should just quit. It's like resing a thief. You know, once it gets low, it's going to be hard to get it back up after that cleave. In any case, though, blue team seems to be getting a commanding victory over here on the waterfall point, and if they actually do get this 2-cap, that's going to put the red team at a severe disadvantage. But it looks like Jackie versus Zombie is down. He gets res almost immediately. Big pickup there on the blue team. They're definitely good about those reses. However, Jackie really needs to, I'd say, get into dash route quicker. He's been going down quite a lot.
Looks like Trixie taken down there as well. Purden's on top. Not a whole lot of pressure coming out from Impact onto Elperden there. Fortunately for him, we'll have to see if he's, going to fix up that. Despite that, still a relatively close game right now. I mean, we still have the lead for this red team despite losing a couple members over on the waterfall. Zor looking to man mode in this 2v3, but actually, Purden coming back on, spiking him down. Isn't enough to stay alive. He's going to portal out of this one. Get to safety.
I'm just wondering why this Necromancer is playing so much on point over here. He doesn't even have a worm down. He should have a worm up on those ledges and be ready to get out. Maybe that's why he's dying so often. He's not doing that worm play. Is to take a couple lessons from NASCAR here. In any case, so this waterfall point is definitely going in the blue team's favor, at least for now. Actually, it looks like Alpertian just immediately got spiked down by the thief by impact from the red team. Let's see, he's probably not going to get res. Actually, no, blue team, they banded together, got some stability up, and he did manage to get that res, so this is going to be an even fight once again, but it looks like Chudat is almost down. He's kind of running for his life right here, and he does go down, so we're going to have to see if red team Impossible Solutions can pull off a res.
I don't think that's going to happen. No reason that Trackful should go into that along with Trixie. Yeah, too many Condis sticking on them. They are just going to leave this point, go to that midpoint, as they should. Over there on the quarry node, though, we do see a one-fight Impact and Zor able to take out one guy, as they are 4v4 around the map because Shootout was taken out over at the waterfall. Now a big mid-fight will emerge as a 2-cap, once again, going to be coming out here for this red team. No! Oh, they do get on the point just in time. Impact, not the one they won on the point. Trixie actually there as well. Trackful under so much pressure from these guys. Look at the Condis coming out there. Isn't enough. There's the time warp from Insomniac.
That is an excellent time warp, exactly when you want a time warp. So they're going to be putting down hella cleave on Tactful here and hopefully can actually get that stop warp to get it completely out. And that's going to really put this fight in favor of the blue team. You know, it almost hurts the red team more to have that cap slightly in their favor, just because that forces people to stay on the point, forces them not to stealth and not to invuln. So, you know, maybe if that weren't the case, Shackle could have gotten out to leave it a little bit longer, but it looks like blue team is going to start, hopefully, well, they might actually be able to get a 2-cap here. They are getting some cap progress on that midpoint. The portal's up, and they're really going to try and... Actually, it looks like they're going to be pushing into quarry. So blue team, the European team, is putting out
Zor spiked down big time there by Insomniac and Perdon, who are doing so much damage to Impact and Zor. This is a 3v2, though. I do want to point out. Jackie was in the area as well. Decap points throughout the map. Still anyone's game for the taking, as they do manage to clean up Zor over there at the quarry. Blue team looking to make a push over here towards the graveyard. Is Trixie going to be able to hold off, though? I'm not so sure.
And even though blue team is dominating across the map and really keeping up immense pressure and is playing very aggressively, pushing over the place, they should have stayed at mid longer and actually won mid. You know, they immediately pulled out of mid and went for the burst on far and killed Zor and got that cap. But if they would have actually kept mid in the first place, that could have even been a stronger play. At this point, it's going to be nearly impossible for blue team to actually get that cap because they have, you know, red team Impossible Solutions has Trixie on it. So that's going to be very hard for them to deal with. And Trixie is, by the way, Stoneheart.
Yeah, having sure. It looks like a bit of a skirmish going on off point as Purdon was taken down there. Zor going to help out Impact and eliminate him from the fight. We do have Insomniac coming down, trying to put the damage onto Impact, who Vampirins do pop for him as Shadow Refuge if he wants to use it. I'm not so sure. Oh, he does steal onto Insomniac. Is it enough to stay alive? Has his heal up. Should be able to get out of this one. Okay, I don't know. Insomniac's still in the area. Impact. Very tricky plays coming out from him. We'll have to see if he's able to keep it up. Trackful, though, under so much pressure. Is he able to stay alive as well? Looks like he does. Gets the stealth off. This is very... I mean, this we do finally have the lead for the blue team. The first time this game. Are they going to be able to keep it up? Trackful getting the rampage with that elixir X, putting up pressure on Jackie at this mid.
Well, Insomniac did manage to get that fantastic down on Impact, and that's definitely going to put this in the favor of blue team. And if you just look at that red team, if you look at Impossible Solutions, just the conditions and health pools are going down, especially the conditions. They are getting wrecked right now. This actually might be like a 3 or 4 team right momentarily. This
could be a full 5-man wipe. There's a potential for with Zor going down, Chudat. It's still pretty low in this area as well. Trackful low at the midpoint. It's going to get off at Trixie in a 1v1 though. So this is kind of a 2v2 skirmish at the midpoint. But Chudat needs to get out of this fight over at the waterfall. No reason for a stick around. He's going to pop the FGS. Very good, intelligent decision on the end of Chudat to just leave this fight and get to the midpoint perhaps, or just regroup as a whole, because Trackful is going back around to Quarry, trying to get his home point back for themselves. But still, blue team taking a 2-cap just momentarily there is going to get them a very decent lead, over 50 points.
And take a look at this. So Jackie vs. Zombies is going to go immediately for this 1v1 against Trackful. It is still going to be a 1v1 on a... Oh, now this is a 2v1 actually, so it looks like Impact and Trackful are going to kind of gang up here on the Necromancer. So that's actually a fairly good play coming out of it, but Jackie actually finally did do a good play. This was a perfect opportunity to play, and he's getting plus by the Elementalist, so this is actually going to be a good 2v2.
Yeah, we'll I would still see how that progresses though, but on the other side of the map, Chudat forcing a 1v2 against Purdon. Insomniac, he will be taken down there in the 2-cap. Once again, coming out here for this 5-man team, and they are just so close to getting this victory. I mean, they're really starting to come out here. Blue team was holding on for quite some time, but they just started to surge ahead after eliminating some of those members over at the waterfall. Very unfortunate for this red team right now, who are on the verge of losing this game. 3-cap momentarily there, Impact getting the decap at the midpoint, but still over 100-point lead here.
And I keep checking too to see if any walls or gates have gone down, if anybody's pushing Lloyd, because it's hard to imagine red team getting 3-cap like that, or even 2-cap with a neutralized node at this point. I was thinking maybe they're pushing, maybe they're trying something sneaky, but that just doesn't seem to be the case. They're losing these team fights, they're coming back in at weird times, and they're getting snowballed, so they really got to get something going here. There's only 5 minutes left in the game. The points are getting pretty high. Once blue team reaches 400, I mean, it's going to be basically over in my book, so we're just going to have to see.
We're going to have a 1v1 force from Chudat at the waterfall once again. He continually pushes this far, but the superior rotations to that of this blue team are really seeming to help them outnumber him when they really need the help. Especially on Insomniac, who should be able to hold out, and there's another rotation from Alperton, going to help him out over here at the waterfall. They are only 125 points away from getting 125 points away from getting a lead, a win, excuse me, on this map. Trackful, pop in Elixir X, going to get Rampage once again as they try to turn the tides in their favor.
Good thing I didn't get Tornado right there. But it definitely looks like at this point blue team should really only hold out one node and just watch their Lloyd. That's what I would do if I was blue team. I would play it safe. I would definitely want to win this. And it looks like they do have an Elementalist just sitting on Koi, which is exactly what they want. Actually, it looks like one guy won from the 5-man team is actually going to go and push mid. I do not agree with that choice. Why is he at mid? Actually, he's more or less on ledge, just taking a look around, and he's still keeping a good eye on that Koi point, because blue team definitely just needs to hold that. I don't even know why they're really pushing this other point. I guess just to keep up pressure. Maybe. Yeah, it certainly can't hurt. There's only a few minutes left in the game. I mean, they have easily enough points just to get by holding that one.
Yeah.
In any case, though, you know, it doesn't hurt to pressure this, but if they do get team wiped here, and that does seem to be the case, looks like Insomniac and Best LE Toronto are actually both down, but Best LE did just get rezzed. An excellent shot of refuge coming out by their Alproden, so they're just going to keep sitting on this waterfall point.
Sun AoE Moa come out from Trackful, didn't really accomplish much with it, though, and it looks like a lot of pressure going down to Jackie versus Zombies. A lot of pressure coming out from Impact, and Zor do spike him down there. Will they be able to pick up the kill? I'm not so sure. Burden probably going to go in for the stealth press. Probably not going to get it. There's a lot of cleave coming out from those 3 members of that red team. So going to pick up the kill. A nice addition to their point pool here, but I don't think it's enough to win the game, as they do have an Elementalist 1-guy-1 just sitting at the quarry. Like you said, that's all they really need to do to take this game.
I would say at this point, red team's kind of given up. They know for a fact that they need to get a decap.
Well, if they're able to win, clean up the fight, not win, just clean up the fight over here at the waterfall, you could potentially see a Lord play. If they get the cap, they will.
You say that, but they're not even a Lord play territory.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, 310, they're going to have a 2-cap here, and they're already at the side. They're going for the gate. Is it enough? There's 2 members on respawn for the blue team right now. Those are 2 crucial members of the blue team to keep the Lord alive. Insomniac already used Time Warp, so Insomniac doesn't have Time Warp. Zor has mass invisibility. Probably should use it right here. Gonna get it off. But despite that,
this would be absolutely fantastic if they can go ahead and get this Lord rush.
If they can, but they're sitting 2 Elementalists on those points. They know they have to hit 350, but 4 members back for this blue team right now.
Zor is already on the Lord.
4 members.
He's putting his damage on.
50% HP. Could we see them go to a game 3? There's Trackful gets the Elixir X. Rampage is going to help them out so much, but this Lord is still at 50% HP. Isn't enough that Moa... Oh my goodness.
It's at half health.
Impact taken down though. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Oh, this is what they needed.
Very unfortunate.
Would have been so clutch. It's not even funny.
Zor forced out of there. He's taken down. Very unfortunate for this red team, as we will be seeing 5 men, 1 cup moving on into the finals.
You said it.
I had to. That's their full name there.
You know what? I like the name. I think it's interesting. It has a certain, you know, je ne sais quoi.
Now, what are your thoughts on that game there? I mean, that was almost a Lord. Almost got it. Kinda. I mean, they said the thing is, blue team sent back 4 members. Only 3 went for the red team. I think if they had sent one of their elementals, they could have helped keep them alive there. Very unfortunate for that Impossible Solutions team dropping there. I think they should have sent another guy back.
Maybe they should have done a better stealth push in there. I don't know. The problem is they chose a point to go for it when basically the entire other team was going to come off spawn and meet them there, and that was maybe their problem. Maybe if they were a little bit quicker. I mean, they did immediately burst the load down to about half, but that's really it. I mean, occasionally after that they got a little bit lower, but they never even got the load to heal. So I don't know. That would have been incredibly clutch if they would have gotten that. Possibly back if this were like back in the old days. I say old days, but I mean just a few patches ago, when you could actually rally off of the surrounding mobs, maybe then they would have been able to take it out. But in this case, I mean, even with that rampage coming out there from the engineer, that's a soldier engineer, so it's not like it was going to do particularly much.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you got to give credit to those guys, definitely earning those 2 victories there. And we'll be moving on into the finals up against ASAP here. Guys, we're going to head to a short break, and when we're back, we'll have the final matchup ready for you. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody, to the Academy Gaming Weekly number 40. We have our final matchup ready for you guys this evening. It is ASAP Zerg up against 5 men. We'll just stick with that. Let's go ahead. Not waste any more time. Get into this match here, as we do have both teams starting to join up here. I just want to give you a friendly reminder. We do have that giveaway at the end of the stream. So after the set, stick around if you want to be a part of a 100 gold giveaway at the end of this stream. But looking at these teams, as ASAP Zerg has already joined up. You've went over them twice already today. Take us away a third time here.
Okay, so starting at the top here we have Shadow Shooter, and he is running this fantastic 1v1 build. I've seen to take down Elementalist, interesting Sully Engineer builds, and is basically... oh, and Necromancer, so he is basically demolishing people 1v1 and is holding his home plate as well as pushing far. It's a Settler's Condi variation. And then Stalker has been running a Bunker Guardian. He's been getting an enormous amount of reses, especially utilizing that Fuel My Wrath. Even though it's been nerfed slightly, he seems to think it's still a fantastic shout, and that coupled with stability is definitely doing work in getting his teammates up and keeping them in the game. And then Ahmed Afro, rocking that Afro as well as an Assassin Amulet and a Rune of Scholar. He's going to be taking time warp. I've seen him take Portal a couple of times. It doesn't look like he's taking it this time, but he always switches this out to be funny.
Yeah, troll heals and utilities once again.
And then Kent Wyvern, with the most RP name that I've seen today. He is rocking a Burn Guardian, so this is considered a Condition Guardian, puts out a couple cover condies, but really tries to lay on a massive amounts of burn, utilizing the Carrion Amulet, Rune of Balthazar, and rocking Radiance of Valor and Virtues, so gonna have to watch out for him. Especially his Purging Flames rings, and then just below that we have a little more fire damage. I say a little more because it was recently nerfed. Is an Elementalist running in the fire trait line. It's a Dagger Elementalist with those fantastic double incinerators. They're very jealous. And then running Holbreak Celestial, and it looks like he might be taking Tornado. I think that could possibly be Troll. He also has Conjure Frostbow on his list, and I think that is probably also Troll.
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah. Getting Armor of Earth once again. Taking a look at 5 guys, 5 men, 1 cup. Once again, we got Best Ellie Toronto. He's running DDLE with Vampirunes. He's going to be running Sully Amulet, running with that Fire, Water, and Arcane. Insomniac. Sunny going to be running the Mesmer for this team, running with the Great Sword. Sword, Torch with Vampirunes. Marauder Amulet, taking Dueling, Domination, and Chaos with that PU build, as well as Time Warp, Decoy, Blink, and that Portal. Jackie versus Zombies going to be running Double Signet with Consume Conditions and Fleshworm here, running a Scepter Dagger with a Staff, running Rune of the Traveler, a Rabbit Amulet, going to be taking Spite, Curses, and Soul Reaping, so a little bit of a change. Of course, these guys are from EU, so running some different builds than what we will typically see in NA.
Why not?
Yeah, and one guy, going to be playing the second DDLA with Vampirunes, Southern Amulet running Fire, Water, and Arcane with that Flash, Blinding Flashes variant. Oh man.
Wait, I just
Blinding Ashes, not Flashes. Blinding Ashes variant, as it was nerfed just this last Tuesday. And finally, El Perdon, going to be running Dagger Pistol, Shortbow, Vampires, Marauder Amulet, running Deadly Arts, Shadow Arts, and Trickery. So standard stuff from these guys. Jackie vs. Zombie, not a build we typically see on NA. Actually, like, never see on NA, so...
Yeah, I was about to comment on that Rabbit Amulet. Ooh, that's odd. I mean, that low health pool is going to make you generate a lot less dash shot, which means in general you just have a lot less health. He's going to be very susceptible to Connie damage. I mean, he can transfer some of them away, but I would say he should never try a matchup against Shadow Shooter. That would simply be a bad choice. He can probably also get destroyed by Kent Wyvern.
I mean, he does...
I don't know about that choice.
See, Necros flourish when they're going up against other Connie classes, so it might not be about... If he transfers at the right times...
I play Necro.
He also has Consume Conditions on top of that to get rid of those Condies. So
let me put it this way: if he
you don't play Connie Necro though, you've only played Power Necro. You played one. You played one match.
I started out as Connie Necro. Back in Domfire meta, that's why
I did too, and I'm not. I did as well, but that was like over 2 years ago, man. I don't think unless Shadow Shooter, we don't know how great Jackie vs. Zombies is, and we'll have to see if he is in those 1v1 situations.
Let me be clear.
We'll see.
I can almost guarantee in a 1v1 against Shadow Shooter that he'll lose with that build. I mean, I can almost guarantee it simply because he does not have the survivability. That's what Shadow Shooter is great at. Not particularly killing, but simply surviving and outlasting the opponent's CDs until he can kill them. And without that high health pool that Celestial provides, as well as the healing that Celestial provides, it's going to be hard to get by. I mean, he is running Consume Conditions. You notice he's not taking that the actual Signet heal. He's also not taking the other Signet heal too, which is it's less Signets. So he only has Plague Sig, he only has Spite Sig, then he has the Auto Plague Sig from Plague Sending. I mean, it's a weird build he's running. It might be good in some scenarios. I'm just kind of, when it comes to it.
Soon.
You know, EU people, they can play whatever they like. It's up to them.
Yeah, it looks like game number 1 going to be starting out here on the Force Niflheim in its grand finals of the Academy Gaming Weekly number 40. Looking at opening points of both teams. Shadow Shooter, as predicts. I mean, of course, he's going to the henge. What else could we expect?
I want to see him 1v1 that Necromancer so bad.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. And it looks like the Necro is going to sit back, see what he can do here. Throws down a couple of those marks.
That's weakness up. I mean, that's a nice thing. At least he has a lot of crit chance. The Necromancer, lots of crit chance, so you can get a lot of weakness out. But he also has lots of crit chance already with Celestial because of the more conditions you put on, the higher crit chance you have trait.
And we're looking at the mid fight. However, it looks like Kent under a little bit of pressure, but so is Insomniac.
Red team wins a capture point.
Out there, knocking them back from Ahmed. Afro Thunder is looking to get on top of that other Mesmer, but El Perdon is still in the area. Does stealth up here, looking to spike down a target. We'll have to see how this progresses. So 1v1 finally going on. There's a portal coming out there from Ahmed. Not exactly sure why he felt the need to portal at 100% HP there. Oh, he was getting his Elementalist back. Okay, so he brought his Elementalist there. Not exactly sure. He just wanted to get that portal used. Oh, a lot of damage going on to 1-guy-1. He's under a heap of pressure here.
Kent Wyvern is actually getting extremely low. He's already used his shelter. His invuln is still up, so I guess he does still have some survivability mechanics, but it looks like 1-guy-1 is down. Blue team is officially losing this mid-fight.
Both Ellie's in the down state. Is it enough, though? Perdon gets it through the fence, gets the rest, throws down the SR here, and it looks like Shadow Shooter wins the 1v1 over here against the Elementalist. Probably could have seen that coming. That is a very crucial win.
He pushed a point, captain in Elementalist favor.
They might get a recap here. Look at the connies. Oh my god. Jackie under so much pressure. Total domination at the start of this game from ASAP Zerg. Probably couldn't expect much better. And El Perdon able to get the decap as they do manage to spike down Pixel Surge there between the midpoint and that mine. But that's okay because they won the henge.
I have to say, Shadow Shooter did an excellent job warding off any attacks on that henge node after grabbing it, and it looks like red team is just going to be dominant. ASAP Zerg is taking these points, holding them down. They're not really pressuring the bot. I mean, they're the person that they sent over. Sorry, they're not pressuring their home, which would be mine. The person they sent to down almost immediately. It looks like blue team is going to be making a push on mid soon. They have that Mesmer Thief ready to spike down that Guardian. The Guardian has already used their shelter, and he's getting spiked down right now. He got Bassy to knock it a few times, but he seems to be hanging on.
So he's going to leave the 1v1. 1-guy-1 was actually taken down by Kent behind the keep, so they're a little staggered right now. Despite that, we do see the Mesmer Insomniac come back to get on Stalker. He's going to get some help from Surge. Surge is in the area, has Armor of Earth, going to go for the res here. There's the Time Warp from Insomniac. Pixel Surge needs to stop resing. That is not going to happen. He's going to die. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever for Surge to stay on that res.
He was probably just like, screw it, I'm gonna die anyways, might as well just die in point. I don't know what went through his
head. He could have definitely gotten out of there. He could have 100% got popped to air attunement, ride the lightning. You're gonna get double the distance with slow on you. There's absolutely no reason for him to go in for that. And that's a very poor decision. Now they're gonna end up giving the 2-cap over to this blue team.
What is Stalker doing over here? He's pushing, he's like near mine. I guess that is where he came off res. Maybe he's just taking a look there. But now it looks like he's actually going to push into mine as a bunker guard against an LA.
He doesn't have shield, so there's no possibility of getting a decap.
And they have another LA coming in, so we're going to have an LA and a guard going against an LA. That's terrible.
Oh, we are going to have Ahmed go over to this fight as well. Going to use Decoy, try and get out of the damage that might be coming out from El Perdon and Insomniac, trying to spike him down. Just going to blink out of here. Looks like they're going to get on top of best LA Toronto, taking a little bit of damage here.
There's going to be a lot of damage coming in.
And once again, Shadow Shooter doing what he needs to do, going to force a 1v1 over at the keep.
Shadow Shooter is just doing work. He's the guy behind the scenes, winning all these 1v1s and getting all these other points. The other team is playing. The other part of the team, the other part of ASAP Zerg is playing incredibly viciously and aggressively, always pushing those points, capturing the other team's favor, and typically winning those fights. I mean, in this case, we have a person down on both sides of the team. Kent Wyvern actually got killed all the way out, so it looks like blue team is actually going to keep this far node that they have.
I mean, maybe the idea right now is to let Shadow Shooter win this 1v1 at the midpoint, and then leave that mine point and head to the mid and the side. And if they're going to do that, they needed to do it now, because we do have this is a very tough situation for Shadow Shooter, because Elementalist was going to lose, just left to the henge point, knowing there's 4 members over there. I'm very confused.
The 1v1. Necromancer versus Shadow Shooter at mid.
We do, but it looks like ASAP Zerg managed to clean up the fight over at the mine. So things, once again, going in their favor, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a 1v1 for too long, as multiple members of each team going to be heading to this midpoint. We already see Insomniac in the area, but they have 2 members off the map right now. They have to get there here quick, but oh, the damage!
Destroyed by that Mesmer. That's the thing, when you have a Necromancer who at least works to target down trippers and Mesmer comes in and just blows it up, it's brutal. And then you also put on that time up to try and stop the res, but it looks like the res did come out, so...
Oh! Insomniac through the portal, but the burns and bleed's gonna take him down. What exactly is Pixel Surge doing? Oh, okay, he does notice him. I thought he didn't see him there, but regardless, Jackie taken down as well. The missed Shadow Refuge by Alperta, and oh, gets him up regardless. And they are back on the map despite Insomniac still being in the downstate. Shadow Shooter forcing a 1v1, gonna get plus by Alperta. ASAP Zerg once again holding on to a 2-cap. This game, I mean, great rotations overall from ASAP Zerg, and the 1v1 potential from Shadow Shooter are really what are keeping them in this game.
I'm really liking what ASAP Zerg is doing here, except for their choice to leave Ahmed Thunder to watch mine. Now, I've seen them do this on a number of occasions, just accidentally leave a Mesmer to kind of 1v1 on their point and try and hold it. Terrible choice. I mean, they are having Pixel Surge come in here, probably for a 2v2, and he should have been there to watch this point in the first place. In any case, though, he did get there on it, get on the mine point in time, so it looks like Pixel Surge is going to be able to hold this mine point for the red team or ASAP Zerg's favor. And so this is going to be a 2v2 Mesmer Elementalist versus Mesmer Elementalist. Everybody running pretty similar builds, except, of course, Ahmed running that really strange, extremely high damage Mesmer build.
Yeah,
he's doing a great job staying up on ledge.
Insomniac dropping a portal there. They do have multiple members reinforcing this side node, so they're going to leave that mid node to ASAP Zerg. We do need Starker. Starker's actually going to sit at the midpoint. That's exactly what you don't. You know from experience, you do not want your support guardian sitting in the 1v1 at midpoint. If anything, send Kent there or Shadow Shooter, not at the hench point. Starker cannot be sitting at the midpoint right now.
At this point, he's stuck there.
He is
it
now.
Looks like he's going to try and rotate off and maybe the Elementalist will grab the decap. No, maybe that's not the case.
Despite that, over here at the Insomniac taken down actually. There's a Shadow Refuge coming out from Alperta and gets him back up. But out in Sirius Starker, he is rotating. So now that they have all 5 members of this blue team accounted for, now they can send him over here.
Oh, and look at the 1v1 between Shadow Shooter and the Necromancer going on over here.
This is the anticipated 1v1.
Yeah, and the Necromancer, Jackie versus Zombies actually came in here with a very high amount of Death Shroud, but look at that 8-stack of fire just tearing him apart. Shadow Shooter is doing an excellent job using those obstructions to really just stay out of the way of the actual Connie transfers and signets that the Necromancer has at his disposal.
Yeah, that should progress for quite some time. On the other side of the map, though, ASAP Zerg is still managing to hold down their point over here at the mine point. A lot of damage onto... Oh, man. Actually, I'm taking a look. Jackie actually does get taken down there back over here at the hedge.
Ended it with 100% health, too.
But over back on this other point, mine, Starker taken down. Kent might be taken down. We saw a portal come out there from Ahmed. Gets himself back to the midpoint. Gets his Elementalist Pixel Surge out of there as well. They're looking to take, once again, superior rotations for the red team. They won the 1v1 on the hedge, exactly what they were relying on Shadow Shooter do. If he didn't win that 1v1, they'd be in a bad situation right now. But they did, once again, holding on to 2-cap. MVP of this match, by far, is Shadow Shooter, winning so many 1v1s and keeping this team in the loop.
He's doing an incredible job. I mean, he has Sync of Stone too, so even if they try and come in with like a Mez Thief first, he'll just destroy him. And look at this. The Necromancer is trying to push another 1v1 against him on a point capped in Shadow Shooter's favor. That is a terrible decision. I have no idea why he's making this move. There's nobody on his team even close to try and do like a push with him and maybe a spike down in Shadow Shooter. Mez Thief is engaging an Elemental.
Honestly, in this 1v1, I have to say that this favors the Necromancer, but I just think Shadow Shooter's skill outweighs Jackie vs. Zombies by far, and I think that's the reason why he's won. I mean, you get plenty of Connie transfers. You have consumed conditions on top of that. I'm just very surprised that Jackie's actually losing that 1v1.
He has too low of a health pool. He's relying on the toughness that Rabbit provides.
Well, that's the thing. He is running.
Shadow Shooter does most of his damage with.
Well, that's the main thing. If he wasn't running Rabbit Amulet, if he was running Carrion, or maybe triple Celestial with a triple Signet, or maybe not even triple, just double Signet with consumed
Carrion
conditions.
Would be the best choice.
Carrion, with this build, but I think he would do better with double Signet, Celestial, and consumed conditions on top of that.
Even then, though, you wouldn't beat Shadow Shooter. Shadow Shooter is far too skilled in 1v1, especially against Necromancers. He knows Necromancers are good against Connie Rangers, so he sits there all the time, and he's even asked me to duel in the past. So I really don't think that a Necromancer like this really has much of a chance against Shadow Shooter.
And all ASAP Zerg right now needs to do is win this mine point. They're so very close to doing that. Alperdon is probably going to be taken down here in just a couple seconds. Withdraw does get that off, but has absolutely
Guardian.
nothing
Red
left.
team
And it
wins
looks
the
like red
capture
team
point.
do claim that mine point. It didn't look like one
Red team
guy
wins the
won
capture point.
was able to get on that point in time. So red team taking the 2
Just
cap.
like
Going to be
that,
taking game
blue
number
team
1
takes a
over
capture
5
point.
men, 1 cup here. ASAP Zerg 1 game away from claiming their first ever Academy Gaming tournament victory.
I mean, I'm just looking at this here. That was domination when it comes to red team. They played incredibly aggressively. They had Shadow Shooter back them up on many occasions when it came to 1v1 situations. So basically, when it came to ASAP Zerg, they were zerging people into the farm points, and they were consistently having Shadow Shooter win 1v1s and hold the side points, as well as also do pushes. I think he did a great push off the beginning on Henge and actually won that 1v1 against an Elementalist before anybody could rotate in from the blue team. I mean, honestly, he was MVP of that particular game right there.
Yeah, he did an excellent job that game. You got to give props to Shadow Shooter for that. But overall, actually a much better portal play overall, I think, by Ahmed that game, getting his team out of those sticky situations, with those portals. Mostly defensive, which is okay as long as Shadow Shooter is winning those 1v1s. And I want to give him props on that one. Much better use of that portal than we saw in the previous 2 games from him.
Yep, I saw a fantastic portal play there.
Yeah, so you got to give him credit on that. And the rest of his team rotating out of there. We saw Kent spike down a few members of that blue team as well. A lot of burn pressure coming out from him. A lot of Condis on that end onto those blue teams who didn't really seem to keep up the pressure that ASAP Zerg did for most of the game. So props to them on taking that game number 1. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got on this map number 2 on Legacy. The full fire here.
I'm curious to see if anybody makes any changes on the blue team to try and combat some of the things that was happening. I'm going to take a look at, see if Jackie is still running that Raven Amulet. I'm thinking he's running Scepter, so that's pretty cool. He's probably banking on the fact that he gets out those extra Torm stacks from the Scepter 3 ability to consume. That's a consume condition. Well, in any case, though, we're just going to have to see what happens. There's really no changes coming out here from the blue team, so I still think ASAP Zerg's going to win this map. From what I've seen, ASAP Zerg seems to be strongest on Legacy. They seem to be great at actually getting those Lord kills and Lord plays, putting on the portal at the correct time and going for it and just dominating the mid fights across the map. So we're just going to have to see what the blue team can try and do to contend with that.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Just waiting on Shadow Shooter to get back into this game here and join up. It doesn't look like we have any changes actually coming out on the side of 5M1 Cup here. Doesn't look like any at all. Still running that Necromancer with the Rapid Amulet and rid of the Traveler. I really don't like
By the Traveler,
both
I mean,
these choices. I really don't. I mean, Condi Necro, we saw a minor buff to Condi Necro Scepter as a whole. I still don't like the Rapid Amulet and Traveler.
Here's the deal. Go do something fun like Rabbit Amulet and Undead Runes. You know, because then you have even more toughness, and then you're using the toughness to create even more Condi pressure. Or do maybe, you know, like a Fear build? I don't know. I just think he could have come up with something a little better for what they're facing. I mean, it's certainly not a bad build, and it has some good plays, but against ASAP Zerg, well, it looks like
it's very surprising. Very surprising to see Shadow Shooter doing so well without Nature Magic on top of this, running only one of the defensive lines, being that Wilderness Survival, taking Skirmishing and Beast Mastery along with that. So usually we see Nature Magic and Wilderness Survival. Very interesting to see that Skirmishing along with it. But the opening split's a little late here. It looks like we do have Shadow Shooter forcing that 1v1 once again. Can only expect that to go in his favor. But around the map here, looks like we have some Stealth Blade coming out here from the blue team.
Jackie has no death shot for this fight, none, because it's the beginning of the game. He actually did get a massive burst off against Shadow Shooter and got another really good Condi transfer. Shadow Shooter might go down here.
Yeah, Healing Spring is really the main source of Shadow Shooter's Condi cleanse, and it looks like Jackie's not letting him go! Oh man, oh look at that evade from the slow,
and he actually did take Shadow Shooter.
Wow.
That is a turn of events.
Especially without any Shroud there. Very impressive play, as opposed to the last match coming out there from Jackie.
I do not think the Plague was warranted, though. Okay, for that stomp right there, I don't think he should have done that. But in any case, that was a fantastic play right there. And then returning to the mid fight, it looks like the blue team is not faring too well. Their health pools are relatively low in comparison, but Ahmed is almost dead. That's actually an entirely different fight. Ahmed is he's coming into mid right now with almost no health.
Like that,
it looks like
blue team takes a capture point.
Very confused what this red team is trying to accomplish here. It looks like they might get the kill on
about to get the Elementalist on, and he's going to put down the
There's the Time Warp, and Kent actually almost getting taken in downstate. They should have the res. It looks like they do indeed.
Great time warp.
Purdon, though, does get... Oh, man! Insomniac and Best Ellie both taken down. Now, Purdon all about to be taken down as well in stealth here. Really impressive play. A lot of damage coming out there from
came in there
Kent.
almost, well, Ahmed came in there almost like he was running from a fight at the other point. He came in there, basically one-shot Ismatic Sun. He got that time warp down, and then the person went down as well. I mean, really great job after that. Then he just comes right back to that core point plusing and is putting down the damage on one guy one. And one guy one is dropping and incredibly fast. He's going to be down any second now, then they're going to probably clean this up and get a nice 2-cap in ASAP Zerg's favor.
They should be able to take that. Shadow Shooter still forced into a 1v1, getting respawns though. It should have been more communication coming out from the rest of his team, letting him know that they have 3 people coming off of respawn. There's absolutely no reason for him to be sticking around that long in that situation. I think that just lacks communication. Whoa, we just saw Pixel Surge fly up into the air, but yeah, that portal, they did manage to take him down regardless. And it looks like Insomniac not going to be able to get that res. Maybe attempting for a few ticks on this node in his favor. Not actually full capped from the red team.
Little good job by Insomniac Sunny going around there and going for that. But that's again one of those like fake decaps. If you would
the thing is, it wasn't full cap. It wasn't full cap.
Yeah, that's true.
Still, regardless, it's like ASAP Zerg.
That fire going on him.
ASAP Zerg having the upper hand in this fight over here at this quarry node. It looks like Shadow Shooter coming off a respawn. Going to try and put out some Condi pressure onto this blue team. But look at play sides. Have a very minimal lead here. Leaving Ahmed to 1v1 at the midpoint. We'll have to see how that goes. But still, Insomniac needs to be the main target for this red team.
Shadow Shooter he's actually fighting in a team fight. That's not something I've seen him do often, but he's doing a good job getting some clean damage. 10 stacks. He got like an enormous amount of stacks of fire and burn onto those corpses, well, those down people. And so Shadow Shooter is going to probably take this point, hold it. His team will rotate into the other fights, and they're going to solidify a nice 2-cap and probably push aggressively.
And they got a decap. Pixel Surge managed to get the decap over at the waterfall. Very impressive play over the last 30 seconds coming out here for ASAP. They're cleaning up the fight over at the getting the decap at the waterfall, but despite that, they did just give up the cap at the graveyard, unfortunately.
Big Jackie vs. Zombies is decimating Pixel Surge. His build is absolutely crushing him with Condi pressure. I mean, I'm not sure, maybe Pixel Surge came in there with a low health pool or something, but Pixel Surge also went back in a terrible area. Actually, he might get res here by the Thief El Pradon. That's most likely the case. Well, maybe.
El Pradon is on the other team, so I don't believe that's possible for him to actually get the res onto Surge. But despite that, it looks like this decap is going to be a big point for the blue team as they look to push a big amount of people onto this point. Kent actually taken into the downstate there. Starker might go in for the res. There's so much cleave, so much damage coming out here.
I want to see it
That's
out here. Kent Wyvern is dead, and this is probably going to go in the blue team's favor to some extent. However, Starker is on this point with a DDLE, so this is going to make for hell to actually finish up and get this point in their favor. But it looks like Starker did actually go down here. He's getting stomped out immediately, which is going to be a nightmare for red team to get back from if blue team does actually manage to get this node captured.
Look at Shadow Shooter though. He's going to be under a heap of pressure over here at the quarry.
That's what it's made for.
But now I don't know about the pressure of 3 people, a Necromancer, and it looks like we saw a portal come out there from Insomniac. They're going to take him into the downstate there and get the stomp quite easily as the respawns from Kent not going to be enough to save him, not in time, and a 2-cap coming out here for the blue team, starting to build a decent lead here. We'll have to see if Ahmed and company able to go. Oh, there's this portal from Ahmed trying to get a decap, but going to be met by 1-cup-1.
What is L? Well, let's see here. I was taking a look here and kind of wondering what El Pradon is doing here. Well, it looks like Jackie vs. Zombies is getting pretty much destroyed at the moment. He actually went and Plague at a terrible time. He had 4 stacks of fire on him and basically no health, went into Plague and died immediately, like basically wasting that cooldown.
Yeah, anyhow. Looking at this midpoint, it looks like, I mean, we are seeing Shadow Shooter push to that waterfall once again. Ahmed actually taking down Pixel Surge. I think it would really benefit the red team to leave this mid mode and go for the sides, expecting respawns, especially with the Time Warp opponent down there. There's absolutely no reason.
Doctor almost got that res. That res was immediately there. That Time Warp came out and immediately stopped it. That's basically how that went. So that's unfortunate for red team, but at least that Time Warp won't be up for a while. So they might be able to get a resurgence here. They might be able to go through the node. It looks like red team did get sides. However, it's probably not going to last. I mean, everybody's dead. So
yeah, and this
they
is
have
exactly
really
what
much
Red Team
more
needs to do right now. They need to play the sides right here. There's absolutely no reason
They need to
for them to even
reinforce
be at the
those
mid.
sides.
I called there was no reason for them to be there, and now it looks like Shadow Shooter is just going to get duped on. There's no reason that the Red Team shouldn't have pieced out to the side nodes, and he's going to be under a lot of pressure. He's going to get some help, maybe. We'll have to see.
This is what he does best. I mean, he is on Waterfall Point with an extremely tanky Settlers build on that range. He's probably going to get decapped, but he can most likely hold that up for a significant amount of time until he can get plus and hopefully res. So it looks like, I thought he was going to get plus here, but it looks like the Elementalist instead, looks like Pixel Surge decided to go mid. Horrible decision. They should have immediately plussed into far. So now Shadow Shooter is kind of caught in between and he is down. That was a bad rotation when it comes to Pixel Surge. He should have plussed immediately into that Waterfall node, but just didn't. So, yikes.
Yeah, it looks like Ahmed Company once again coming into this midpoint. Ahmed has time warp if he needs to use it. I would. This is a good time to use it before a potential Lord push down the line here. Before if they ever hit 350.
That's an excellent point.
Insomniac is getting pretty low here. Despite that, does get his heal off. He should be okay for the time being. Now Pixel Surge, bit pressure as well. Doesn't have water to it. Now he finally has it up. Should be able to get out of that. Is okay.
He's got to drop that
but the
decap. Maybe just get out of there at the moment.
Decap from
El
Purden
is a brutal decap.
That, yeah, it's very brutal. Now they're going to build up to a 100-point lead here, and this 5-man World Cup team, they're looking to push it onto Battle of Kylo, where ultimately, I think they have the upper hand, especially with the Thief.
Let's take a look here at what's going on our core node. I mean, the Elementalist Pixel Surge did get on it, but this is a very hard node for an Elementalist to hold. I mean, there's not many areas for him to hide behind. That Thief is all over him, and there's going to be a lot of creep going on to him soon. Actually, it's just a Thief versus an Elementalist at this point, so this is probably going to go in the Elementalist's favor. Most likely, core node will fall back in the favor of ASAP Zerg. There is the portal down there. That portal is for the blue team, correct? For 5-man
looks like we are going to see Shadow Shooter down once again. He continues to push this far node, but it seems the blue team has figured him out, figured out exactly what he needs to do, and they're just plussing him in. Lack of rotations from ASAP Zerg is ultimately what is getting him killed because they're not matching the numbers. They're expecting him to hold off in the 1v2, 1v3 situations, and it's really hurting them because they're also losing the other fights during that time.
I mean, that's the thing that they're starting to realize. They're not good at 1v1ing him. It's going to take too long. There's a good possibility that he's going to win. I honestly think he only lost in the beginning because of a fluke, and so they're just doing a great job at actually keeping him in the mid fight, plussing him with multiple members, and just keeping him out of those 1v1 situations. It looks like Shadow Shooter is trying to peel out here. He got decimated by conditions from that Necromancer, and maybe he's going to try and push mid against one guy, one.
Yeah, I don't know. He has some support. It's going to be a 2v2. Still, best LA Toronto might be taken down as Afro was taken down. The res. Oh, the res so close. The interrupt coming out there from El Perdon and the time warp from Insomniac. We are yet to see that time warp come out from Ahmed Afro Thunder, who I believe did just get fully killed, and as well as two more members of ASAP Zerg. They might as well call the GG because it's looking like it's going to happen, especially with only 85 points to go for this blue team to take this game number 2 and move on to the Battle of Kylo. Another possible Game 3 finals. Those are the ones to live for.
I have to say, this is going to be an interesting match on Kylo. I think Kylo will favor the comp of the blue team. I mean, it's hard to say. They both have the Mass Thief, which can take advantage of that Z-axis travel, but I've fought Spooky before, and that comp that blue team is running, even though they're kind of running that interesting Kandi Necro, is going to be brutal on Kylo for the red team to deal with.
Yeah, it's really going to be up. I mean, like we've said before, they've really figured out what Shadow Shooter has been doing. It's consistently been forcing the 1v1. If it's not at the far point, it's because they have the far point and he's going to go push the home point. And if it's not that, then he's going to push the... I mean, there's no situation in which Shadow Shooter has really been... I believe I've seen him in a team fight once, like a full team fight, maybe a couple of skirmishes, 2v2s, but ultimately he's pushing these 1v2s consistently, and his team really hasn't been picking up the slack on the other end of winning outnumbered fights.
Which they should be able to.
Like
I mean,
that,
red team
blue
has
team
incoming
takes a
damage. They
capture
have a Mesmer with a crazy high damage build, and then they have that burn. Oh, I guess it is gonna be hard for them to take things down with just a Mesmer and a burn guard. If they had a Mesmer Thief, maybe Mesmer Zerk Warrior, maybe, but Mesmer Burn Guard. Yeah, so I mean, I guess if Shadow Shooter even puts them in those advantage fights, it's going to be too hard for their team to take advantage of that, and that could be something that they could account for, maybe change and work on in the future. In any case, on to Kylo. So we're gonna have to see how this plays out.
Yeah, and I think for the first time this tournament, we will be seeing a best of 3 go to its 3rd game. That will be the grand finals here. The winner taking home 10,000 gems as a team. That would be 2K per player, as well as a llama per player. In second place, going home with 4,000 gems per player. Or excuse me, not per player. For the team, 800 per player there. So a bit of a difference in that being it's 1,200 gems. That's a lot, to be honest. So we'll have to see who's going to be taking this one. If any comp changes will be coming out for either of these teams.
Wouldn't it be great if it was like $10,000 you take home for winning?
Oh,
Ugh.
yeah, I kind of gave me $10,000 prize pool. You betcha. Anyhow,
That'd be fantastic. That'd be a way to make money right there.
let's go ahead and take a look back at this game. Looks like we do have a swap for ASAP Zerg.
Well, let's see what he swaps to. Looks like we
DD
still...
Ellie.
You know what? I take
got
back
rid
what
of
I said
the-
for that. Yeah?
Did it get rid of something? It did get rid of the... Okay, Shadow Shooter. No longer playing the Dagger Elementalist. He is going to be playing the... If I'm not mistaken, this is him. Yes, it is him. He is going to be playing the Elementalist. So, a little bit more mobility. I like their chances more with him on DDLE. Not sure how good he is at it, but honestly, throw on DDLE stuff and you're bound to make a difference.
I'm still watching this Necromancer. What an interesting build. At least he's striking out and trying something new. It's going to be interesting. He did manage to actually win that 1v1 there. I've seen him do tremendous counter pressure. He actually seems to be mainly focusing the mainly focusing Shadow Shooter and the Elementalist in the team fights, which is exactly what he's supposed to be doing. And it's been pretty devastating for the red team to handle. The problem is red team has to leverage most of their... Well, actually, you know what? Red team does have that Bunker Guardian. I mean, conditions should not be too much of a challenge for them. I mean, Bunker Guardian, 2 Ellies.
I think the main thing that
Surprised,
how most teams falter on this map is rotations. I mean, this map, rotations, in my opinion, are more important than most other maps because not only the Z-axis, but there's also that trap play. You gotta deal with it. If there's trap play, and on top of that, there is no secondary mechanic that gives a point advantage. 150 points, no 20 points, no double your points, current point income coming from your nodes from tranquility buff or stillness buff. You know, this map is so unique in that rotations are huge here. We'll have to see.
That's true. And the other thing that I find interesting about this map is, unlike Nephalhel, if you want to get to that far point, you have to travel basically through the area of mid, which can really open you up to attacks and opposition. It can make it very hard to hold side nodes, very easy to hold that 2-point, but mid itself is a very easily decapable point, being up on that pedestal. So, you know, it really makes for an interesting and dynamic gameplay here on Kylo. So it's going to be pretty interesting. We really want to see that Guardian Rock shoot on this map because that could be really useful, and it looks like he's still with focus.
I think a big part of
the match starts soon.
ASAP Zerg here is going to be Ahmed with his portal, and for the blue team, it's going to be not only Insomniac's portal, but El Perda. We'll have to see how he stacks up. But taking a look at the opening splits for this final game of the Academy Gaming Weekly number 40, looks like we do have both teams stacking light here, and we do have
points.
Best Ellie Toronto going to that mansion. 2 members of this ASAP team to the Moonmill. We're going to see a portal drop off for Ahmed, but we are going to have Tread play right at the start of this game.
Wonder who's going to be sent there to take care of the Tread, if anyone. In any case, it looks like this is going to be an interesting strategy. I don't see red team pushing far off the beginning or anything.
Blue team
Ahmed,
grab
good
the
job
point.
of getting out of those Tread. We are going to see an Elementalist deal with the Trev. That would be Meta DD That is Shadow Shooter. Meanwhile, we do have a 2v2 emerging over here at the windmill as Ahmed is in the area along with Pixel Surge. A lot of damage going down onto him. Need to be very careful. Ahmed already pretty low. Only time warp left. He is going to use some stealth and get out of this one safely for the most part. But in the meantime, Surge is going to be under a heap of pressure. More than likely going to be taken down.
It took me a while to find Shadow Shooter there being in that Dagger Elementalist. I'm kind of surprised about that choice. Basically, if he fills the same role as his Ranger, I'm just not quite sure if he's as skilled or adept at that particular class. In any case,
Red team wins
Yeah,
the
this
center point.
this mid node's getting interesting. The Mesmer Insomniac is actually
you see
just
that?
destroying it.
Red
Right? I mean, he's
team
getting
got a
down some good
capture
trap
point.
shots, but it looks like the Guardian Stalker is doing an excellent
Blue
job
team
dodging
grabbed the
them
capture
at
point.
the appropriate times, and they're just holding on to this. And that's going to take a member out of the fight for blue team. So it's really up to them if they want to keep trapping that.
One Ellie, one gonna be able to get the decap over at the mansion. It looks like Ahmed too busy dealing with El Perd in here. We'll have to see. The DD Ellie Meta went to that Treb once again, never fully got it down. We'll have to see if he finally does take it out there. But despite that, we are going to see side points going in favor of this blue team, starting to build a very minimal lead here.
On each side point? Oh my god, that's exactly what they want.
Yeah, but a big regroup for ASAP Zerg should help them out. They're going to opt to go for the windmill, go for their home node. I condone this, and we'll have to see what they're going to do about it because, again, Ahmed or Starker, excuse me, is the one on the midpoint. You don't want your Guardian sitting there. It should be Kent, if anyone, or a DDLE. But despite that, Ahmed taken down. There's the time warp from Insomniac. Is it going to be enough? So much cleave coming out from them, and it looks like they fully take out Ahmed.
They got him down pretty much immediately, and without the Guardian there, there's absolutely no way they could get him back up, especially without that quickness they can provide to counteract that time warp. In the case Kent Rivian is taken out next, I'm surprised they didn't use that as an opportunity to, bleed Kent Rivian for a while. Instead, they pretty much just knocked him out instantly.
Oh, barely got on the point in time. Alperton would have been huge if he got that decap. And now we're going to see a 1v1 between Pixel Surge, between Meta DDLE and Best LA Toronto. I'm not sure why he wants to take this. That's not something you want to do. And I mean, look at the positioning.
Like Stalker's going to plus this, but I don't see
look at the positioning of ASAP Surge right now. They're all over the map right here. They need to make an effective push as a team to a node. They can't stop. You can't keep roaming around like this because it's in the end really going to hurt.
On mid. Yeah, just leave Pixel Surge on mid. Push everybody else into that. Into this manor or mansion node. And look at the damage coming down here into Meta DD. He's gonna get res pretty much immediately by Stalker. Stalker did an excellent job doing that, but he did also waste a couple cooldowns, a couple key cooldowns to actually manage to get that res. In fact, he has no shouts up, no heal, nothing.
He's focused too much, or somebody else goes down. He is gonna be Trebin trying to clean up this fight as they try to get a decap here. Jackie is so low, 32 health on Jackie, who's gonna get a full reset. As that Treb did almost take him down. Needed one more might stack on that Treb to take him down, unfortunately.
I'm not against him trebbing because then that means he's not dying instantaneously in the actual mid-fight. He actually needs to hit those trebs. That one right there, he just did a fantastic job hitting Best LA Toronto. Nearly one-shot him, took him right down to those vampires. It looks like Best LA Toronto is down at this point. Starker's going to go to mid. He's going to try and hold out the midpoint. They're leaving Elemental to actually just leaving
Jackie!
Meta DD to watch
Kent
that
takes
point.
him down. Blake not going to do anything in terms of Condi playing, so they should be able to pick up 2 cap and get back into this one. Thankfully, for their sake, they are not down too much right now, as we do see Insomniac start to make a push towards the windmill, or excuse me, the mansion. He is actually going to go for the Treb repair
full
kit.
cap it.
Did you see that?
Took an extra second, but Meta DD to actually full cap that mansion point. In any case, it's going to be a 1v1 between Meta DD and this
Treb is up, so we are going to see some Treb play once again.
No, I'm sorry, Meta DD and Mesmer. Man. In any case, though, it looks like they should just leave the Elementalists here at the mansion point and keep the Guardian at mid, but it looks like they're going to leave Ahmed here to watch mansion. Maybe he's going to put down the portal. He's probably waiting for portal to come off, cooldown, put that out, and then they can push mid together, win that, and hold the 2 points. If they can hold these 2 points long enough, they can at least build up that lead, and that'll be a good...
Can't get hit by taking a significant chunk of health there. And we are going to see, it looks like, once again, Meta DDLE getting on that tread, not going to fully take it out, knowing his team needs his help at the midpoint. Jackie, though, under so much pressure, gets consumed conditions off, has about 50% of Shroud left. We'll have to see if he's going to be able to stay alive. A lot of Condi damage and power coming out there from Ahmed. We'll have to see if he's able to keep him. Oh, he gets taken into the downstate. No time warp. There's the time warp coming out there for him. A lot of, don't look at the health pools getting disintegrated here for the blue team, as one guy almost taken out. Alperton under so much pressure. They're still going in for the res. Are going to get out of that one safely, but losing a member in the process. No, there's a Shadow Refuge. They don't know they didn't take him out. They're going to get him back up into this fight.
I cannot believe he just got res. Great job by Alperton right there, possibly turning this back around. Now, if blue team can actually make a push over into this mansion, though, they might be able to get some traction back, some momentum going for them if they can at least get 1 kill here, get this decap, and really get something going for the team. If they get this decap, they're still in the lead, things are still looking good for them, but that's going to be really hard to do with that Meta DDLE on point holding that. Stalker is at mid. I don't see why Stalker keeps getting left at mid. That's not going to be good for their
They should have realized that by now. But still, the 2 cap, there's the time warp from Insomniac as Kent was taken down. The stomp gonna connect as Ahmed under a whole lot of pressure as well. Gets his heal off. Despite that, the decap more than likely going to be happening in the near future. I don't know. Blue team still took a lot of damage while that time warp was up, and now they are going to take down Ahmed. About time.
So many people going down, but still no decap. Actually, Alperton, right when I said that, is going for that decap. If he can get this decap, then his team is still in the lead. So blue team is still in the lead at this point. So this is really going to put ASAP Surge behind because now they have that decap on Mansion Point, and it looks like they're actually going to win this fight over at Mansion and possibly full cap this for the 2 side nodes. We're going to have to see how this plays out, but it looks like Pixel Surge is down, Ahmed is already dead, and that fight seems pretty much in the bag for blue team here for 5-man 1 cup. So
yeah, red team managed to edge
cap.
their way back into this one, but is it enough? We do see a rotation from Starker now over to the windmill. They have respawns, they have Pixel coming up in a few seconds, as well as Ahmed, who's about to be there. Shadow Refuge from Purdon, who's probably going to be making his way over to that mansion as well, but that seems to be setting up for the next big team fight. What's going on here?
Well, I'm just taking a look at these side notes here, and there's a tremendous push going on over here by the blue team, and it looks like they're going to be putting all of their effort and damage down onto that Kent Rivian, which is exactly what I would be doing because he's a burn guy. He's probably the easiest one to kill, but he does still have that invuln mechanic, which is going to be very hard for him to get through. And he's getting just decimated by conditions. That Necromancer is doing work to him. He's in invuln right now, so there's a few virtues left. But it looks like blue team, their health pools are getting devastated. Jack is almost dead. It looks like he's about to go down, and he played, but he's down immediately right here. Let's see, and Rivian is about to get the stop, and he did get the stop. So it looks like he is dead.
Needs nice support, excellent support coming out there from Pixel Surge and Starker, just keeping him alive. Get shelter up, had poison on him though, so didn't get the full effective heal coming out there from the shelter. Despite that, this is exactly what ASAP needs to do. Have an Elementalist, you got 2 of them now, sit on the midpoint, not Starker. You can't have him there. And taking down Alperta and Best LA Toronto. And even if they don't have that there, they have Starker at the midpoint, they can use Ahmed, his portal, to readjust that situation. I'm very confused.
All I can say is it is honestly bad rotations if it's consistently happening where you're keeping your Guardian mid.
Tread play is the tread play. No. Oh my god, DDLE just overshot. That tread play just barely has a dodge. Is he going to use it prematurely? Oh, he does dodge it.
Oh, excellent dodge right there, but he's probably going to lose the... Well,
oh, man. He's so low. Staying alive with the fades. Water teaming up in a second here.
Staying alive right there.
Yeah, it looks like he should be okay for the time being. As the 2 cap, once again, this is such a close game. Down 30 points for ASAP Zerk right now. Is Ahmed on top of El Perdon, who's attacking his spawns. But this is still going to be a very tight match.
This is a very bad
Starker takes
game.
A heap of damage at the midpoint. This Treb is still coming
like
in.
one guy,
oh man, the Treb not dealt with as Starker is taken down. They do get the res.
Look at the double portal. So they portal out this one guy who went down. Ahmed puts his portal through 2 and goes and cleaves the hell out of it. So he goes through the portal, chases them down, cleaves them both down. Looks like one guy is actually going to get res.
No, Ahmed
right now.
left that too early. He had.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Ahmed left it too early, unfortunately. And now, I mean, but look, this game is going to be tied up right now.
I have to say, it doesn't really matter because all Ahmed and them need to do is worry about keeping that 2 cap.
Honestly, that's exactly what. They need to sit the DDL at that midpoint. They need someone to take care of this Treb, though, and follow that Mesmer around because if the Treb isn't effective...
This is...
I mean, if one wipe and it's over. Game. And either of these teams lose a member, and I think it's game over. And look, they're already plussing Meta DDLE, excuse me, at this midpoint. Has Cantrip up in a second, has Lightning Flash up. Look at the Condies. He needs help now. Look at those Condies. Oh, buddy, he's going to be taken down. That could be it. Is Ahmed taken down as well? The Treb play, like I said, can take it down as well. I thought they needed to get that Treb. Oh, man.
Blue team is going to need to full cap this, which is going to be
oh my god, they need to hold on to this for a few more seconds. Starker getting taken down by the Treb as well.
Oh, this
is brutal. He gets the knockback. This is so close to extra kill. Going to give him an extra 5 points and a decap from Best LA Toronto. That will be game. There is absolutely no way. I don't know. Pixel Surge taken down as well, turning it around in their favor. That decap as well, giving them the edge.
Treb. I mean, damn, it was just. I mean, that was just decimation.
There is no way they're gonna
immediately drop into the Condi bomb.
I don't see this happening. They have. Oh, but Ahmed's gonna go right past it. Get the decap at the mansion. No. It's not over. They have to get somebody to the midpoint, though. Yes, absolutely. They got the full cap at the midpoint. They're gonna get it, but it is a tied game. This is still their game to win as long as they can get a decap or a kill. And DDLE is taken down, though, their time warp from Insomniac. And that will solidify it, I think. He is going to get out of there, but Red Team needs a kill now. I think that's game.
For the res. He's on it, but
that is game. No, that is it.
Yeah, Jackie got that stop pretty much immediately with that plague, which Ugh, that was a close game. I mean, I gotta hand it to EU. They have some excellent players. They had some good team play right there.
That was insane.
Damn.
Insane. 11-point loss for
Blue
ASAP
team
Zerg.
grabbed the
It looked like they had lost that at the end, but somehow Ahmed went right past him himself, got the decap, and amazed us at just sticking into that one and so close from taking that win. Just a few seconds.
The tenacity that blue team had there at the end, the 5-man 1 cup team, I mean, they just kept attacking. They were trying as hard as they possibly could, and then that just holy grail of the couple shots with that Treb. I mean, MVP to the Treb is what I'm thinking, just be kind of funny right there. But to be perfectly honest, that team wipe at the end was just terrible for the red team. That's absolutely not what they were looking for.
I'm going to interrupt you really quick before we go into a little bit of a post-game analysis. Guys, we have the 100 gold giveaway going on right now. Go ahead and type into the Twitch chat !Treb MVP. I'll set the example for us right now. But what are your thoughts on that Treb? You said they shouldn't have. I thought they should have. In the end, it came down to a couple of seconds there that Starker wasn't able to get on the midpoint.
I mean, that was so close. I mean, when it comes right down to it, red team had the points. They were ahead in points, which meant that all they really needed to do was hold a neutralized point at mid. They did not need to kill themselves on it to try and keep that full cap as long as humanly possible. It would have been better if they would have maybe rotated off of the point. Maybe when the Trebs are coming down, have one person on it, rotate another person on, rotate another person on. Just played a little bit more intellectually and really thought about, there's this much time left. It's only going to take a few more points to pass. We're already ahead. If we can just hold this newt and hold the other point caps in our favor, we might be able to pull this through. Instead, they decide to, let's all get together on mid, try and hold this as like a team, and then get one shot by Condis and then the Treb.
A note, guys, for that giveaway, you must be following the channel. If you're not following this Twitch channel and you're drawn, you will not lay victory to that 100 gold. But anyhow, yes, I mean, it really came down there to ASAP Zerg having the lead, about a 30-40 point lead. We knew they were going to lose the midpoint because they had 2, 3, up to 4 members dead from that midpoint. Somehow Surge got back up, still took another Treb shot to the face, got taken down once again, and unbelievable that Ahmed was able to get the decap. Just didn't get the cap quite in time because of the fact that, they got the cap at the midpoint first, and if maybe a shield on Starker would have saved the game. Ultimately, though, just that cap at the midpoint wasn't going to go anywhere for the red team getting that decap anytime soon. So, very devastating loss for ASAP Zerg. Falling to second place, but you got to give props to 5-man 1 cup for taking that victory, definitely.
I have to say they did an excellent job. It's going to be hard for you to actually post that name as the winning name for this particular series, because that is just an interesting name. It is unfortunate that an NA team didn't take it. Was that entire team EU, or was it just part of it? Did you know like a few members?
They believe 3 of them, maybe. I'm not exactly sure, but
I know there's like an ESL rule against having like 3 EU people. Does that apply here too? Or
no, this is just a fun low to mid-tier tournament, so nothing, no strict rules on the region lock or anything for that matter. But again, guys,
you better let me do some free agent.
Again, guys,
Please.
!Treb MVP entered the Twitch chat to be entered into a 100 gold giveaway here. It must be following the channel for that. Got a few announcements before we head out here. Again, thank you to OPN for joining me today, seeing him live on cam for the first time. Hopefully we have more cam from our second casters here in the future. Of course, as well, if you guys are interested...
I apologize, I'm not a hot chick. He's so much better.
If you're interested in playing the Academy Gaming Tournament, head over to that link right up there, Academy Gaming. Battlefly.com/academy-gaming if you guys are interested in that. As I said earlier, the 1v1 tournament will not be happening this Saturday. Didn't have the investor actually follow through with the legendary, unfortunately. But, a little unfortunate. But as always, guys,
big arena net.
As always, guys, please follow me on Twitter as well as YouTube and Twitch. My YouTube and Twitter accounts are down below. I do upload the ESL and Academy Gaming videos every week for NA over to that YouTube if you guys happen to miss out on a game or want to rewatch some of those great plays we saw in that last game there. Other than that, again, thank you to all the participants today, as well as OPN once again, and my mods, my admins, AK and Chloe, for helping me along the way there, as always. Let's go ahead.
AK is a boss.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
No idea who Chloe is.
Roll this here. As the winner is... Oh, man. Not following, unfortunately. Looks like, the winner is Holla. You have one Holla. I believe you are here. I just saw you talking a few minutes ago. Holla, go ahead and send me a message over Twitch if you could with your account name, and I'll get that 100 gold sent to you later on this evening or tomorrow. Again, send me not a whisper, not Twitch chat, a message over Twitch with your account name. Any last words from you, OPN?
It was a great game. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you here as always. Again, thank you all for tuning in tonight. That is it from us, and we'll hope to see you tomorrow night for the 2v2 tournament. I will be playing in that and streaming the rest of it if we do happen to fall out early. Again, thank you guys for coming tonight. We'll see you then. Have a good one.
Our backs against the wall.
Storm, I know you can hear me.
But there's nobody else I want by my side to stand here with me to take this fight through the rise and fall. With our fearless hearts, we could beat the odds, and we could live for 1,000 years. We could be legends if we all go down. If our time is now, we could let everyone know we were here. We could be legends.
We can live forever.
We dream so colorful. Oh, we love so strong. The world is relentless, the city won't sleep. It hardens your soul, brings you to your knees. But we can face